Hey everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Marilyn and we've got Mini Chad here today standing in for Big Chad for a little while. And of course, our special guest well, you are still very special, but you're more of our regular guest now on Saturdays. This is our nerdy bunch on Saturdays. This is Mark Turi. And he probably
Hello.
needs no introduction, but you can introduce yourself if you want.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Mark Turi. I was a Scientologist for 3 years from 2005 to 2007. For the first 2 years from 2005, excuse me, I was from 2005 to 2008. I went ahead of myself. From 2005 to 2007, I was a public Scientologist. And then the last year, 2007 to 8, I was a staff member, first in the Church of Scientology in Berlin, Germany. And then after that in San Francisco. I left in 2008, and I've been speaking out variously on many different podcasts and YouTube channels since 2008. So, most recently with Rachel Bernstein, Doug Scott Kramer on here, with Aaron Smith Levin, with Chris Shelton, with Mark Bunker way back in the day, and so on. So yeah, always good to be here. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And hey,
Always great to
Steve.
have you. Hey,
Yeah.
Steve-O. Fancy meeting you here. Can we hear you? Nope.
No.
Oh, there.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you
We
now.
can.
Much better. Helps to
Microphone
have a
would
mic
help.
in front of your face. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Here we are again. And we have a special guest coming in soon, Michelle Carpenter.
Oh my.
So yeah, you didn't know about that, huh? This is
No.
surprise. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great. So here we are on our nerdy Saturday. How is everybody doing? We've got people
Nerdy.
in the chat. Nerdy, feeling very nerdy.
Yeah, I've been binging. I've been binging Deep Space Nine now for the fourth time, I think. So I'm on season 3, and I'm loving it. So, like
I
always.
love Deep Space Nine. I think that's got to be my favorite Star Trek series. It really is.
Yeah.
We've talked about some of it before, but yeah, we could do a whole 2-hour stream on that one. Oh,
We
Joe.
should actually.
Well, Joe, I don't know. This is a family show.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it isn't actually. Michelle, awesome. Yeah, pop in the waiting room, and we'll pop you in if you want, because there's just 3 of us. I mean, we have Chad Jr., but he's so quiet.
No, little Chad. Hey, little Chad. Sorry, didn't see you there.
Yeah, Big Chad accidentally forgot something he had to do today, but he should be in later. And if he's not, we'll just have great company. We're in great company with Mini Chad. So yeah. Anybody have any questions for Mark, or comments or anything? Just put question in all caps, and then we'll make sure that we get them. Juliana, our fabulous tech person / everything, will be with us at some point soon. So we will be good to go. And people are checking in. Hey, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Yeah.
Hello.
St. Chad the Small. He's going to be the most popular one today.
Love it, Joe.
Which Star Trek? I've seen them all.
Which one not?
Yeah, why not?
Voyager.
Yeah,
some series I think are better than others, but whatever.
Oh, absolutely, without question.
Yeah, we were talking Deep Space Nine at one point.
This is definitely a Deep Space Nine Next Generation crew here, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Last week
they had it there, 87 to 99, perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, last week when you were talking about the Next Generation and different, I think you were giving Julie some ideas of some beginning type standalone episodes to watch, and I thought of one, but it wasn't a standalone, so I didn't mention it. But one of my favorite episodes, I'm trying to remember the name. Oh, I knew the name of it. It was the one that Riker fell in love with a person from another planet, and they were
Yeah.
androgynous. I can't remember
Yep.
the name of it.
I don't
I
remember that one
totally know.
either. But I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's a very, very good episode.
it
It might be
is.
one that someone could watch without sort of without necessarily knowing about Star
Yeah,
Trek.
true.
Right.
That's true.
It could be.
Yeah,
I think it might. I think it might. But it's a very Riker heavy episode. Let me
yeah.
just look it up.
Oh, jeez, I can't remember.
Oh
And
gosh,
when you
yeah,
say it, I'm
it's
gonna
a
be like,
brilliantly written.
duh. I
It's called
know.
The
You said it,
Outcast.
the
The
outcast. That's
Outcast.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outcast, yeah.
See,
And
that's
what
what I.
was her name? It
Yeah.
was like Soren. Was it Soren?
Soren. Yeah, Soren.
Soren. Oh wow, I
Yeah,
did
I
remember
believe
that.
that was her name.
Yes.
Yeah, season 5, episode 17, and it says here, yeah, one of the top 25 probably best episodes. And then let me just see. I'm pretty sure her name was Soren, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it
Soren.
was Soren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
that's
what I
right. And
thought.
she feels
Mm,
more female, but they don't
right.
have, I guess they don't have genders or sexes. Like they're completely non-sexual in that way, but they're also, I guess, non-binary in that way as well. And I did hear something from the that Jonathan Frakes, the actor, wanted the the person who would be Soren to actually be a male. So he was
Oh,
trying to champion for a male
Oh,
actor because, of course, all the actors on the planet are female. But he wanted a male, but they said, that it would probably be at that time too risque for television, which is kind of a shame.
right.
But they still
interesting.
did a great
Yeah.
episode. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. There's so many things in that. Of course,
yeah,
the transgender, non-binary issues, but also so many things running through it with the identity thing. They all had to look the
hmm
same. The extreme beliefs of regarding sexuality
hmm
that you see in cults over and over and over is the control over your sexuality, the control
hmm
over who you love, the control over just like like I said, your identity, but also the extremes that you see. Like in my cult, it was we were celibate, and here we were, our 20s and 30s.
mm,
Some of us, like myself, well, I was celibate till I got married, but I was there for 5.5 years, and I wasn't. I had experiences before from the ages of 16 to 20. I kind of went out and sold my oats. I kind of rebelled from my Christian foster home and just moved to Cape Cod and just had all kinds of boyfriends and just went wild and had lots of fun. Then I came back at 20 and I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to hell now. So I repented and went, into an even deeper religious sect, which turned out to be a full blown cult. But yes, we were celibate, and my husband and I weren't even allowed to hold hands or kiss. We followed, the IBLP teachings of Bill Gothard, like the Duggars. And although we didn't look like Duggars, but there were a lot of those same things, even though our minister was a woman. But which also kind of the the leader of the people on that planet in the Outcast kind of looks like our leader. It was interesting. Yeah, I always say
yeah,
she
she
looks
was
like a. Go ahead.
quite quite tough, quite a
Mm.
Yeah.
tough person, that leader. Yeah,
Oh yeah, she was brutal. And
strict.
the other thing,
Yeah,
I don't want to give away the ending, but the whole thing where they basically took Soren and reprogrammed her back into their
yeah,
mindset. And that was just
that's right.
yeah, so brutal and heartbreaking. And yeah,
Right.
there's certain
It's a
things
great
that
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
really is.
it is.
So I
It's
would
one of
recommend that.
certainly one of the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly for, I guess, for like new viewers. Again, it's one of those ones where, like, if you watched it and you didn't know much about Star Trek, it wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean? It wouldn't do anything. I just I overall, I think it's a fantastic episode just in general, especially if someone is in that mindset of being in the LGBTQ, plus QA plus community. It's something that
Yes.
they would resonate with pretty well, pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also interested in the cult mentality too, because there's so
Mhm.
many parallels to that, the cult mindset.
sure.
And I'm just, again, like I always say this, but Gene Roddenberry was a genius, and he was a pioneer, and he was way before his time. So
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's so many episodes. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but there are so many episodes that address so many issues.
Yeah. They actually
Yeah.
took elements of that episode and I say they, but Seth MacFarlane actually took elements of that episode and worked that
Mm.
into some of the casting structure, some of the character
Really?
structure on the Orville.
Yeah.
One of the executive producers of the Orville is Brandon Braga, who was very active in the production of The Next Generation for most of its run. He wasn't the showrunner, but he was there for 4 or 5 of the seasons, and then he ultimately ended up moving and working on the Orville, and so a big contributor with a lot of the writing and a lot of the script doctoring, all of that. Since being there. And if you want to check out the Orville, you can see all 3 seasons on Hulu. So there you go.
That's right.
Uh,
And I love the
Good for
Orville,
Hulu.
actually. Really love the
Orville's
Orville.
wonderful. You're right.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
I was also going to say it's interesting. Soren was also the name of who is it? Roddy McDowell's character. Was it Roddy McDowell? Malcolm McDowell's character. Sorry, wrong McDowell.
Oh, yeah.
In the movie Generations, he was
Yeah, that's right.
Soren was the bad guy who
Oh,
kind of went head to head with Kirk on
Nexus.
whatever on the in the Nexus, right? So yeah, it was
Yeah.
just interesting. I know just the name. That's just an interesting thing because usually you'll see producers or writers try to avoid even a whatever of the same name, a hint of it to
right.
because it'll draw people that way. But it was such a completely different story that it was probably okay. I also see Michelle Carpenter has noted that she's loving Strange New Worlds. Yeah,
Never seen that. Yeah.
season 2 just started on Paramount Plus. Season 1 is fantastic. I'm drawing now. Of course, I always draw a blank whenever I want to say something. Anson Mount, who plays Christopher Pike, not only looks a bit like who is it? Jeffrey Hunter, who played the original Christopher Pike, but still different enough. It's not like they're clones of each other or anything. But looks similar. But his wittiness, his character. I mean, if that show runs for a few more seasons and gets a little bit more of a viewing audience, because of course it's behind the Paramount Plus paywall right now. Quite honestly, he could be right up there with the greatest captains. He is a fantastic. He's just a fantastic character all around. Rebecca Romaine as number 1 is incredible. I mean, just honestly, that was great casting, and she doesn't look too unlike Majel Barrett did in the original Cage, the original pilot. So, but yeah, it's a wonderful series. Season 1, fantastic. Again, I never really got into Discovery. I saw a few episodes. I liked a few characters. Haven't really watched too much of that. I just felt dirty by Picard, but so I kind of avoided. But I've heard the tips for getting in and watching that without
season 3.
Without
Season
losing
3
my
will change your
soul.
mind.
Yeah.
It was you that told me that. Just watch season 3.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
I'm
good.
not
Just watch season 3.
I totally agree. I agree.
I'm not afraid of
Season
it.
3 is honestly incredible. When you're done season 3, I'm going to tell you which episode I think is in my top 10 favorite Star Trek episodes of all time.
And it is one of the season 3 episodes.
And it's in Picard season 3.
Okay. I'll get on that.
I wonder which ones you would
love
choose.
it.
I've been too glued on YouTube lately, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll tell you off air, Marilyn, because I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. Right. Again,
At least for me,
shout out
amazing.
to the moderators. Yes.
Mods.
Our
Woo-hoo.
mods. Absolutely. So, hey.
Hey.
So I see.
Oh, Canadians
I see
can see.
Juliana. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Juliana.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Canadians can see
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds on Crave TV in Canada. So check that out.
Yeah, I've got to find a way to get it here in Europe somehow to see Strange New Worlds because I haven't. That's the one. That one I haven't seen. I also really love Lower Decks. I think that's a fantastic show. If you haven't seen Star Trek Lower Decks, it's excellent.
No, I haven't seen that one. So I see Michelle is
like this.
chiming in about Star Trek, and she's in the waiting room. So Michelle, put your hand up if you want us, if we can bring you in. Are you ready?
Let's get nerdy.
All right, here she is.
Yay! Bring her on in.
Let's bring her in.
Hey!
Hi. I didn't know if
Hi.
only Chad could do that or not. So,
No.
No.
hi. How are you guys?
No.
Fantastic.
I'm
How you
lucky.
doing?
See you.
It's
Nice
great
to
to
see
see
you.
you
So-
guys. I'm like,
Yeah, it's nice to see you face to face, sort of.
Yeah.
But if Michelle, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit for anyone who may not know who you are.
hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle. My name is Michelle Carpenter. I work in technology, and so I like kind of take like technology and apply it to like anything I hyperfixate on in social media world, which the last few years has been anti-MLM activism. So I just like I don't even know where to start. But last year I read a whole bunch of cult books. Like I think I read 27 like memoirs from people who had left cults, and it was really like I'm taking a break now because it was like whoa. But I just I relate to everyone I've seen like on SPTV and in the cult recovery world so much because of like cult of one relationships that I have been a part of. And I find the community so loving and open. And so I just like I want to live here, so I've like planted my roots. And I made the SPTV Discord, which anyone who isn't part of it, I get it. It's like new, but I uploaded a video the other day to my YouTube channel with like a walkthrough for people who just like don't know what Discord is or are putting off joining because like they are intimidated by a new application or whatever. But basically I just wanted it to be a place where people could always get their SPTV live notifications, and it turned into a kind of community, and I love it.
That's awesome. Well, I'm learning. I'm trying to learn Discord. Actually, I love that it lets you know when anyone posts anything. So, like all the different channels that I signed up for, it's awesome because for some reason my YouTube algorithm doesn't always give me the notification. So now when Aaron goes live, it's like, hey, oh my God, he's live. I got it. So
Yeah,
that's very cool.
I was seeing like I was watching so much SPTV because like, oh yeah, the reason I said all that about the cult stuff, like I started reading Scientology related books, and I think I've read almost all of them now. And my best friend has an anti-MLM podcast, and she got to go on Mike and Leah's podcast. As
Roberta?
a guest. Yeah, Roberta.
Oh, we love her.
You know Roberta? She's my best friend.
Oh, well, oh, lucky you. That's awesome. I saw her pop up in the chat not too long ago.
She's probably watching on my channel. She's lonely over there.
Oh.
But yeah, so we kind of have the opportunity through the connections we have in the anti-MLM world to like branch out and make the recovery space more inclusive for anyone who's left any kind of high control or high demand group or relationship. I think that it would just be beneficial to everyone. So I'm just trying to mesh all of my, I like activism, and this is where my heart is. So I'm here for it.
And funny gifs or gifs or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
they're called.
I'll always be bringing the literally, this is my I gave a speech on this at a conference last year in Washington D.C. about like gamification, like using gamification, like motivating like, oh God, what am I trying to say? Basically what Discord does, right? Just like gamifying a movement can really make a huge difference in its impact. And so that's kind of where I see my role in anti-MLM and now hopefully in SPTV. And I'm into like, anything that makes it more fun to spread awareness, or like gives you a dopamine hit when you send off that letter to your congressman or whatever. Like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm the bringer of dopamine. That's me.
That's awesome. I love me some dopamine. But
Dopamine peddlers.
I know.
Yeah, that's me. You got me.
But speaking of dopamine, I just want to show you something. The fabulous Kelly Copter and I, we use a lot of humor back and forth, just chatting. And check out her channel. She's got some shorts up, and I think she has one short up today. It's hysterical in response to some things that are going on. So I just think sometimes laughter is the best medicine. And yeah, having those short snippets of things like the GIFs or GIFs, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but and just being able to have things at your fingertips is awesome. It's just
I like saying gifts.
Yeah, I was going to
but
say,
I know I think it's wrong.
It's
no,
gifts.
I think you're right, Juliana. It's gifts.
But I've heard people say, no, it's GIFs. It's definitely 100% GIFs. I'm like,
they're wrong.
It doesn't sound right.
Well, because I think it stands for graphical something. So
there you go. Graphical is GIF.
Yeah.
It's a gift also.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like this morning, somebody posted on Facebook. I don't know if you guys seen it yet. I think I know Marilyn has, because she actually mentioned. Excuse me. She actually mentioned Michelle. Somebody posted something. I think it was on Coffee Cults and Crafts in the Facebook group. Somebody posted something like, "Oh, if you guys check the gifts on the comments, when you do that on Facebook and you search for Scientology, look at what pops out." And then like your gifts start appearing, the SPTV Discord gifts.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to share some in the comments. And I started looking and I was like, these are all mine.
They were all, yeah. And then the ones, couple of those that you made for Brisbane, what is it that she's singing, right? Because everybody has a different version. So I think everybody knows what we're talking about, right? Aaron's daughter at the end of the video says,
candy for my love.
And then people say, it's candy for my love, dancing for my love. And then people started making up different things like Antifa my love and Tampa bread my love. And what else? Antifa my love.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, and someone said,
Michelle
who
does
made
a little something like candy for my love, and there's candy falling, like
and someone commented who made those gifts, and I think I tagged you, Michelle, because I was like, they're Michelle. What do you don't know?
Those are all hers.
But that's awesome though, because when you type in Scientology in the gifts, it comes up.
Because they don't have any. I mean, they will now. Now that they've seen this.
Oh, let me pull this up. Joe. Yeah, we should have Joe on. She's one of our fellow nerds. We love her. Joe DeSeppo. Comment. GIF stands for graphics interchange format. So it's a hard G. Okay, so it is GIF. Okay. I think the GIF people are being trolls, but if you want to troll them back, say it's GRIF because graphics. Oh, there we go. The grifts. Yeah, I love it.
That just sounds like a grift.
Yeah.
Like a grift calzone. Yeah.
Oh, can I say something about a grifter real quick?
Sure.
Always.
Okay, well, yeah, I love me talking about some grifters, but can you hear my son right now? He's not the grifter, but can you hear him?
It's fine. Wait,
Yeah, but
listen.
if he needs anything, if you need,
I'm surprised you don't hear a dog squeaking.
Oh, he's
I'm
fine.
puppy sitting and I've
The
got a puppy.
problem,
So if you hear
Oh.
squeaky toys, that's mine.
yeah, no, I've got a big old puppy around here too somewhere, but no, my son has like peanut butter sandwich stuck to the roof of his mouth right now, so he's like freaking out, and I'm not going to help.
Speaking
him
of
with it.
Jif, is
Oh.
it Jif?
That, just so
Skippy.
you know that's why I'm not going in there because I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
If you have to excuse yourself, we totally get it. We totally understand.
Absolutely.
I'm good. What was I going to say though? Oh yeah,
Something
grifter.
about
Grifters.
Oh, I just wanted to say so many people the
I
other
love
day
bombing
said
you.
that when Aaron was reading the statement from Scientology that he was doing a Trump voice, right? Did everyone hear that? Like
he
I
Yeah,
heard
said it
yeah.
wasn't a
Yeah.
Trump voice, but it
he
still
said it
was.
wasn't, and I
It
just
was.
wanted to point out that it's probably just a charlatan voice, which you know.
Kelly,
I was gonna pull that up. Yeah.
the peanut butter sandwich can be deadly. We've all been there. Oh, God.
Yes.
I hope Kelly's seen her gifts.
I love peanut butter sandwiches. Oh, yes, there is a gift of Kelly. Trying not to say
There's
gift.
there's also one of Jackson getting his pizza that day. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Yes, that's so awesome.
So
that was
there
classic.
was another one of the bunches, the original, not us, but like, you know, Aaron and those guys, they started having, it was that day that started just Aaron and the guy Chris, what's his last name again, Steve-O? Malin?
Chris Malin.
Malin.
Yeah.
Chris Malin
Yeah.
and Aaron were talking, and then Mark Hadley was in the chat, and then everybody was like, "Oh, invite Mark," and then started inviting a lot of people. A lot of people started showing up, and they had like 9 people on screen, and they were doing whatever. And then Jackson had ordered a pizza, and then he left. He got his pizza all on camera. He left. He got his pizza. He ate his pizza, and then Michelle made a gif of that of Jackson leaving very quickly because she sped it up. It's so funny. Jackson leaves and comes back with a pizza box. It's cute. So cute.
It's awesome.
For some reason, I was thinking that was during the pre-show or for the Surge documentary, but
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, because I think
Okay.
it's a late that it was really like impromptu, unplanned. But I might be wrong.
But yeah, it was hilarious though. When I didn't realize there was a GIF of it, but I saw the original.
No,
so.
Michelle did. Michelle did a gif of
Yeah,
it. She made a
Michelle, while you were gone, we got a couple of references to what you were talking about. Snake oil salesman voice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. See, I think it's just easy to fall into a Trump voice because they all sound the same. Like
Yeah.
that's how I pegged him, in
Yeah.
2015, but whatever.
You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
We'll talk later. I'll keep my opinions to myself. Yeah,
Well, it's funny. I was
we'll talk
I was
later.
watching a news show that I frequently watch on YouTube, and it does the news, but there's some lighthearted moments to it too. And when one of the guys tries to do his Trump impression, it sounded just like Aaron. So it was, it is. Everybody falls into that. And
Somebody pointed that out in the chat too, that like he almost sounded more like Alec Baldwin doing Trump than he sounded like Trump.
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
funny.
Kelly
hasn't seen her.
Is Kelly in the Facebook group?
Yeah,
because it's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, but Michelle,
Shall we
don't
get
you
to-
also have a link
Yeah.
where?
Oh yeah. Duh.
Can you post it on the private chat here so that I can repost it?
I'll get it for you.
Oh, I
Kelly,
just
just
noticed
get your
the
butt to coffee.
I'm
Cults and
sorry,
Craft.
Michelle. You were trying to talk to us earlier, and I'm so bad at multitasking that I'm just noticing it now.
Oh,
No,
you're
and
good.
it's like, and that's always how, like, sometimes before the stream I say we talk. We didn't today because I was late, but
Right. Usually you have to remind me.
got my finger. Actually, I pricked my finger, and it's very, very little, very, very small little thingy,
Oh,
and it won't
oh.
stop. It wouldn't stop bleeding. It was annoying. I wasted an hour trying to. But yeah, so sometimes even before this stream, I'll say something like, "Okay, guys, so make sure you watch for especially if I'm in the background and I'm gonna need to talk to you guys during make sure to and then I just send messages there for nothing.
I listen
talk to
so well.
myself.
I know. I listen so well. You're just talking about, well, and today I'm sort of keeping an eye on my channel because I don't have a moderator on today. So
Oh,
because
okay.
it's a sunny, it's a sunny Saturday in the summer. I don't expect to have. We're on a lot. I mean, we have a lot of live streams. So
I don't have a moderator. Period. Oh God, now they're
Yeah.
gonna come for me.
They're coming.
It's-
Trolls,
I
if
have
you want a
more.
safe, if you
but-
trolls want a safe place to hang out and say everything you want to say, just head on over. No,
No, don't
we
do
won't.
that.
We won't plug your channel for a while until they forget.
right?
But I can moderate. I cannot fully moderate, but I can. Let me see. Yeah, the only channel that I can't moderate is yours.
Oh my.
From no, Michelle's. From
Oh,
no, because I
Michelle's.
was gonna
Oh,
say all of ours.
Right.
We can all moderate from here, from stream.
Yeah.
Not moderate, but we can delete comments like trolls and stuff and whatnot. We can block and delete comments from here, which is why I accidentally blocked Chad the other day because I was moderating
That
from
was
StreamYard,
such a
like starring
crazy-
questions for Marilyn and stuff.
It
But I was doing it on
so
my phone.
crazy.
And it's horrible.
I-
And then when you're trying to do it on different, you have to actually like click an extra button to start the question. It's not as easy as it is in the computer.
Little
And then
Chad
when
was
the chat-
irate the other day, by the way.
And the and the chat like keeps going, and then somebody sent a message, and then instead of starring or whatever it is, I instead of because it's like a drop down menu.
I've done it.
and
Yeah,
then
I've
says,
almost
like,
done it.
yeah, and then it says like star comment or whatever it is, and then it's like block user. I'm like, no. Yeah.
Oh, Kelly found it. Oh, good, because I had that up the whole time that she couldn't see it. Now, was that
For the
before or
gifts?
after my Julie? Was that before or after my power went out in the middle of the stream?
That was before. The first I blocked Chad. Then I timed out Whitney. And then I felt really bad because timeouts are temporary. They're just timeouts, but they can't be undone, which is I think is so bogus. And then I had to ask. First I blocked Chad, and I can't unblock from here. So I had to ask. I mentioned something, and then Terry was on YouTube, and then she unblocked him for me. She saved my life there. And then I timed out Whitney, and then she had to go into another account to comment, and then it was.
I'm
and
sorry.
then when
Was this all
everything-
one stream?
No,
Yes,
yeah.
It was,
And then
it
after
was my
that,
very
after
first, it was last Sunday at noon Eastern, and it was my very first like solo AMA. So,
so I blocked Chad. I timed out Whitney.
No,
and
It's
then
the comedy of
Marilyn-
errors.
the
Marilyn's
stream would
power
have cut
went
out though. If you weren't there, I would have been screwed.
I don't think so. I thought so too, but I don't think so because Aaron kicks himself out of his stream all the time, and then the
Yeah,
chat
but
keeps going.
my internet went out and had to reload.
Oh,
So
that's true.
because my
That is
power
true.
blinked out.
Mm.
I guess my face froze in the dark, so I looked like some like scary like skeleton or
sorry.
something.
It was so funny because
There's witness.
Thank
There's
you.
Witness.
it was so funny because she had just like the light coming out of her laptop, but then the power went out, and then like the camera froze with like all dark and just Marilyn's face, like
Oh my
like,
God.
light from the laptop.
It was all
so
like blue
funny.
and white. It was so it was bizarre. And then I'm like running to my phone and nothing's working because I live in the holler. I live in the the rural holler of Vermont, and I have no cell service either. So I'm like waiting for the internet to go back on because it just blinked. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do the generator. It's like a pull string. My husband wasn't home, so I'm like one of those gas powered like lawnmower type generators that we use when the power goes out. It was a mess, but it went right back on, and we just was like, okay.
And you have a message from Joe here to you,
Oh,
Marilyn.
thank you, Joe. You are totally professional, rolled with it. All the issues perfectly. It was a great inmate. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna do one tomorrow. just like a recap of the week. There's a lot going on in SPTV. We can talk about later. We got some announcements and some things brewing. And if anybody wants to chime in about some things going on, like Leah's lawsuit, things like that. So we could talk about some of that today as well. But I just wanted to kind of get in maybe a groove of doing a Sunday live. So yeah, so that's that. That was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Do we know if Chad's gonna be able to join us at all, or do we not know anything yet?
I don't know. He was gonna
So
try.
I'm thinking I wanted to wait for him, but I'm thinking that maybe we should already announce what we've been announcing unofficially on because we've been talking about it already in chats and whatnot, because we only have 1 week.
Yes. Go ahead. Take it away, Julie.
No, you can do it. So guys, save the date. Marilyn's gonna Marilyn, Steve, or whoever. All of you.
I'm saving it. I got it.
You got the date? Okay.
I got the date.
Save the date. Next
Saved.
Saturday.
Yep. Next Saturday.
We're not. We are. Yeah. How do you say that? Nah, I can't speak English yet. I was speaking too much Portuguese up until now. We are not having our usual Brady Bunch. What is this called? Nerdy Bunch.
Your
next
Nerdy
Saturday,
Bunch.
Nerdy bunch.
because we are going to have.
Hey, everybody say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Chatathon.
Marathon. Nice.
Good job, guys.
Nice.
I unmuted for that. You're welcome, Marilyn. I'm sorry, I was a
Thank
little
you.
bit behind.
That's okay.
I didn't even know the announcement.
Oh, really? You just guessed? We're going
It's
to
not on the
have
screen.
another
I
chatathon.
put it on screen.
It's going to be a little different from our last one. And the first one was different from the second one. The second one's going to be different from both, just because we only have a week to plan. There's a little bit of urgency to this one. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're doing it during the day on a weekend day. So it's going to be next Saturday. We'll do Clearwater time, which is Eastern time, will be 2:00 p.m. Eastern to midnight. So the stroke of midnight. So that's 10 hours. We're going to have a lot of special guests, a lot of SPTV creators coming on, but it's going to be for one purpose: to help Liz Ferris with her efforts to save her dad out of Gold Base. So she has a GoFundMe going. So far, I think it's raised over $2,500 maybe. And there's so many expenses, hidden expenses. Liz has already said that she's working really hard. She's working 2 jobs. She's, able to pay her own bills, but all the extra expenses, legal expenses, travel expenses, anything that comes up that she needs, she's had to hurry up and get some equipment to even be able to put the word out. So, she got an inexpensive computer and a microphone so she can talk to people. And even just having to request and print a document is, I can't remember how much it was, but it's over $100 for all the documents that she needs. So just different expenses. It's a 10. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. So what was it? 28 out of a $5,000 goal. Yeah. So we'd like to get her up to the 5,000 and even beyond, because you don't know what what expenses are going to come up. Yeah. So
always go over.
Yeah. So that'll be our main focus, and we are yet to know everybody that's going to be on, but there's going to be some great creators and great surprises. So.
And this time around, then we're not going to be opening for the entire community like we did last time, because we're not even going to have enough time to organize it to be the same way that it was last time. So I hope everybody understands that you can still, if you're available, it's going to be during the day. So if you can still come and support and chat and donate if you can, help spread the word, help spread awareness about the abuses in Scientology in general, but specifically we're talking about the Liz's situation here. And if you can help share, I've posted in all channels now except for Michelle's a link to but I'm sure she has it too. If she doesn't, I can just send you the link if you want to post it in yours. but the tiny URL is actually a tiny URL to the GoFundMe. So you guys can save that, you can share that, and then if you can't help financially, maybe you can help sharing. And yeah, let's help Liz out.
Yay. And we love a chat-a-thon. So it's
Yeah, we do.
put that up for a
Definitely.
minute.
And yeah, the $5,000 goal, I mean, let's just ignore that, because do you know how hard it is to ask people for money? You're always gonna lowball what you actually need. And I know
Yeah.
that that's true for Liz and even Vanessa, who I'm sure, helped set up the GoFundMe. I don't know all those details, but like, you're never going to ask for what you really need.
Yeah,
Right.
and we're talking about the 5,000 for the GoFundMe, but like Marilyn said, we're thinking beyond because we know she's gonna need more. And I think she has a Venmo. Maybe I don't think she has PayPal yet, but maybe she will, maybe she won't, but maybe she'll have Venmo too by then. So whatever means she has to help her get money to her, we're gonna be sharing during the chat-a-thon. And check it out. There's gonna be some cool people with us. Hopefully, we're gonna have a good time for sure.
Definitely. And yeah, we apologize to the community as far as having people on. It's just the logistics of like last time we had about 3 weeks, almost a month to plan. And
Yeah.
Julie was working day and night corresponding with people and trying to get everybody a slot. And with the big creators, we love them to pieces, but some of them are a little bit last minute. So it was a little bit hard to pin everybody down. So we're just gonna focus on Vanessa's her channel will probably be streaming at the same time. She has done some amazing footage and amazing work with Liz to get the word out. She's done videos, she's done so many interviews. If you go on the Degraded Daughters of Dianetics, the amount of interviews that she's done with Liz is just mind-blowing and heartbreaking and deep and inspiring and all of the above. And actually Claire just released a video on her channel with Liz as well. So definitely check those out, and yeah, come support and we'll have fun. We got 10 hours to hang out. So
yeah.
Cool.
Stephen
Yeah,
Britton
it'll be a
asks
great
here,
time.
don't forget Kendra. We're trying not to, but there's like,
Yes.
it's just like when
Keep calling.
Liz first started speaking her, telling her story, and then Mark Headley said something like, you hear that story? That's one story of many. If you've seen Serge's documentary, that's one story of many, and we can only reach one person at a time. We're doing what we can. So Aaron posted a call to action for everybody to call Kendrew, or not call Kendrew, but call Scientology in LA. And thank you, President Frederick. For people to call there, and I know everybody who could call. Steve will call on screen. If anybody hasn't watched Wednesday's nights, not freezing. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not here yet. Xeno Nation. Steve called on camera live with all of us, so you can get to see what happens there, what happened in his call right there. And yeah, but we have to like take one focus at a time. So for the chat-a-thon, the focus is gonna be Liz, but right. But we can talk about we can talk and help and do whatever for all kinds of people that need help.
And we're holding space for all of them. We want everyone to be set free from this oppressive, destructive, abusive cult, and I'm hoping for a domino effect. Like I know Liz has been saying over and over and over. She said, yes, I'm focused on my dad, but I'm also hoping that this will be like a domino effect or a floodgates effect. And she put it out in an appeal the last 3 streams that I've seen her talk. She said, if there's anybody that has a relative that is at Gold Base or wherever and they want to leave, let me know, because we'll create awareness. And even if they want to stay under the radar, but there is such a huge under the radar network and effort with, I won't say especially the second gens, but definitely with the second gens, because a lot of them don't want to leave their families, don't want to lose people. But
Oh,
the second gens that you see on screen, they all have a network of people that they're helping and talking to and encouraging. So it's just, while it's a really crazy time and it's just can be so frustrating at times, there's also a lot of good things happening behind the scenes and on the scenes, Yeah.
Just a second. Well, we have some questions that we need to. I just wanted to finish this real quick here.
Okay.
Stephen, and he followed up saying, I wasn't suggesting you had forgotten him. I just wanted to make sure that he's named and people can help. Yeah. So, Michelle, you want to talk about what you did for that? Michelle did something for that too.
I did actually put together some slides and like a shareable copy and paste post that can be spread around on Facebook, any social media. Personally, I have like with my like super specific brand of neurodivergence, I can't make phone calls. I would love to call the LA, Oregon, harass the crap out of them. I would love to, trust me. But what I can do is lay out the story. Here's what happened. Here's why we need to hold them accountable and, share this message. So I think that's what you're talking about, Juliana.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I made a couple of videos just like with the, the phone number to the LA org and the real basic, like here, why is Scientology still doing this? And, the two main questions that Aaron had pointed out in his video. So I posted that in the Facebook crafter called bleh. Marilyn.
Yeah, sorry.
And also on my Facebook. So please feel free to share that if that is, easier for you, or do both call and, anything helps. You don't have to be able to do exactly what, someone is asking for. You can, boost the message, and more people who are able to do that thing will get the message.
That's awesome. Did anyone see Nora's little short video the other night on, of course, I'm terrible with names, but the woman who's a Scientologist, and she supposedly has a human, can I say that? Trafficking. Charity that helps people that are human trafficked. And she's just like, hello, you have one in your midst, So she gave her email out. Yeah. So I got to email her, the woman, and be like, hello, you want to know who's needing your help? Someone among your own people, So that's just,
it's harder to see when you're in the situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, labor trafficked. I was labor trafficked to Berlin, so that was not a fun thing. But there's definitely a lot of good organizations out there that would help, even if you are afraid. So when I was at Berlin, I was kind of afraid of the local police at the time. But they're them, and also other like NGOs and other charities and stuff. Like there's a lot of resources that people can use, especially now, that can help you out of a situation. And I do think one of the best, of course, is the Aftermath, but also whatever else is in your area, there's a lot of good, compassionate people out there that will help, Scientologists or whomever out of a horrible situation. So it's really nice to see.
That's so true. I'm also working with another cult recovery space. Like they're not a nonprofit yet, but they're in the middle of making that happen. But an organization called I Got Out. And you might have heard of it if you listen to Sarah Edmondson's podcast. Yeah. She's one of the co-founding collaborators for the movement and the organization, but I work really closely with the like two actual founders of the organization, and we're currently planning a really big in-person event, like a fundraising event to launch their actual nonprofit status. And that's coming up in October. And
Oh, that's nice.
there are just there's so many, like, there are so many resources out there that are just hard to nail down and find and pin where they are. And what I love about this community is that, like, I mean, you really do see like people who are not out there making YouTube content necessarily or doing stuff like that. They really are going behind the scenes and like compiling lists of all of the channels, or making things more accessible to more people and just spreading the message. And I love that. I'm attracted to it. It gives me the dopamine. And so I Got Out anyway is another one of those resources that they don't necessarily help people get out. They are more about a social movement and like spreading awareness about the harms and dangers of high control situations, and helping survivors tell their stories. And so what their launch event in October that's coming up is going to be is a story jam, and we're going to have like 20 plus survivors of different cultic experiences sharing their stories in the form of any kind of spoken word, actually some music, and it's going to be a really, really cool event. If anyone is in the St. Louis area, tickets haven't even gone on sale yet. So I'll post about it on my Facebook and everything for sure in the next few months, but it's going to be really cool. And
Great.
the reason I even thought of it was because the playbill the program that we're making for the event, we're specifically reaching out to potential sponsors for the event who would make really good resources for cult survivors, because we want the program to act as a sort of resource booklet as well. And so the sponsors who have ad space in it, if their focus is, helping victims, then we definitely, want to showcase them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've actually had a few people from that are survivors of other cults ask about just even mental health resources or support resources. So I can point them that way. I'll message you, Michelle, and see how
Stephen
to
Britton says
direct them.
there's also National Human Trafficking Hotline, and then he said the website is .org, because you can't post links. YouTube is weird. So yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Okay. So I had some starred questions and comments. Do you want me to go into the starred for a little bit? Okay. They're all over the place, but we'll just get through them. We'll talk about different things. Okay. Who needs watch hours?
Marilyn.
I do.
Send them to Maryland, or send you to Maryland.
It's coffee. It's at Coffee Cults and Crafts. So I know when I made the Facebook group, and then when I made the YouTube channel, I was like, well, I'll name it after the Facebook group, because I just made like a email address, because not everybody has Facebook, so they can't really message me if they don't have Facebook. So I don't know. I just thought of like coffee first, because I love coffee. So it's like coffee first, and then like a cult sandwich, like Coffee Cults and Crafts, or a coffee cult, and then the crafts. So not really an afterthought, but like you don't have to be a crafter. You don't have to do. I mean, I think everybody has a talent, or everybody has a hobby or something. So yeah, that's just why it's named that. So
Cult sandwiches for everyone.
Cult sandwich, yeah, with your
Coffee Cults and Crafts is about Maryland, and then everybody else may have something in common, and then we just.
It's really not about. Yeah, it really isn't.
No, I'm just saying it's because it's things you like, and then not everybody has to like or like. It's kind of weird to say like.
Well, I like my wine too.
That is true.
I like my wine spritzers. If I drink big tumblers of real wine when we have our nightly, our Monday night things, I'd be in trouble. So we have a question for little Chad. Oh, question for little Chad. Do you only own one shirt or 100 of the same shirt?
Yes.
That's a fair question.
Thank you. Yes, which one, little Chad?
We'll never tell.
Yes, which one?
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Okay, we have a limerick, I think, from Stephen Britton.
Oh,
Okay. Who's good at reading limericks?
You or I don't know. Mark?
Okay.
I don't know. Mark
If you
is too
want,
quiet.
sure.
Do you want to give it a try? If you want
No,
to, you don't
okay.
have to. If you want.
Let me get my broadcasting voice active here. It's been a little while, but it's a story of a nerdy audience who were watching these four nerdy folks. They all gathered on YouTube, and the chat room choked.
Here we go. That was really
Oh.
good.
Oh
get it right.
no, I get it. It's
It's
done
the Brady
to,
Bunch. Though.
It's done to the tune of the Brady Bunch.
It's the story.
Oh, I
of
thought
a
it was a
nerdy
limerick.
audience.
Oh, I thought it was a
I was doing a
limerick.
dramatization.
Nerdy folks. They all
okay.
gathered.
I
on
chose to
YouTube.
reinterpret
All
it.
right. Never mind. You didn't
And
tell me
the
it was a
chat
song.
room choked. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
There
You
it
have
is.
to let me finish.
That's perfect.
Nice.
No, never mind me. I guess I'm not awake yet. Yeah, we usually Steven writes limericks and he does write song lyrics. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, let's try that again. No more limerick.
It's all you, Michelle.
You just did. It was beautiful.
I
You
did
can
the
sing
whole-
better than.
We'll sing it together. Ready? I don't
All
know.
right.
With the lag, it might
Okay.
not work.
It's gonna be bad, but we'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's
There's
a story
Sorry.
of a
of a-
nerdy.
Oh, wait.
What are we doing?
All right.
Stop. That is
With
the
the
second
lag.
line. Steven's saying the first line is above. Then
Oh,
we
no.
don't have it then because it's not starred.
Mm.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to email us that or send that again if you can, please, so that I'll start.
Oh, he's the second line.
But I don't get it. I don't know. I'm gonna shut up now.
No, don't shut up. I just didn't know what you meant. Oh, he said I needed a rhyme for folks. This one? I need a rhyme for folks. I couldn't come up with it. That worked.
I don't know. He said that is the second line. The first line is above. I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm
all right.
sorry I interrupted.
You know what? We'll wait on that one. I'll leave it starred just in case.
Okay. Sorry I
Okay.
interrupted.
No, you're fine, honey. William Decker. Hey, Marilyn, I'm a fan of your Xenu. Have your orders slowed down? I'm getting there. I have a couple other things after the current batch of Xenus I'm working on, but your name looks familiar, so you might have tried to order from me before. If you can send me an email. I'm going to teach you guys this, right? coffeecultsandcrafts@gmail.com. You can send me an email.
William, I've got her booked for about the next year and a half. So as soon as she's done with all my stuff, you're up.
By the way, William Decker was Stephen Collins's character in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yes,
He
it
was the son of Commodore Matt Decker, played by the wonderful William Wyndon, who was later on Murder, She Wrote. Anywho, I saw that name and I'm like, I know what that name means. So
Oh, wow.
Before you
Maybe that's
continue
why it
with the
sounded
story
familiar.
questions-
Go ahead, honey.
Before you continue with the story questions, Stephen posted here, and then he said the one that he posted already has a mistake. So this is it that he said now, but it's supposed to be streaming.
Two nerdy ladies who were streaming with a bunch of nerdy guys.
Well,
Oh,
this song is specifically about you two, so I'm gonna just turn off my camera
Sorry.
and let you take it away.
I'm not.
I'm just kidding. I really will be right
You're
back.
nerdier than me.
I gotta go. I'll be right back.
three
Okay.
nerdy ladies.
Then go ahead.
Okay.
Then do it.
Okay.
I've never
All
watched
of
the
them
Brady
Okay,
have
let's try it
hair.
again. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's a story of two nerdy ladies who were streaming with a bunch of nerdy guys. I don't know. They all gathered on YouTube, and then the
Where-
chat room choked. I don't know. It doesn't
Where's the
rhyme with
rest?
ladies. It doesn't rhyme with ladies. Oh,
Guys,
sorry. Okay.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah.
There's.
We'll work on that one.
I am very confused.
We'll work on that one. What, Steve-O? You said guys.
it would rhyme with guys, not ladies.
Oh.
Because guys was the
Oh.
end of the line.
Oh, doesn't rhyme with guys. Okay.
But we skipped. But when you sang that, you skipped the nerdy audience, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because I thought he was replacing that. All right. It needs work.
No, you're doing what
Email
you're
me. Steven, email me at coffeecultsandcrafts@gmail.com.
It's got teeth, Britton. It's got something there. You've inspired.
Okay.
Hopefully
I
you've
got
inspired yourself.
one for Michelle. I'll wait till she comes back.
Yeah.
I think he might be talking about the Tribble one, right? Steven Britton crossover episode. Seen that one?
No, I'm thinking he was talking about. It seems like every series has some sort of crossover type episode. I think he's talking about. Probably the crossover episode, because I had said I wasn't really watching Discovery, but I was watching Strange New Worlds. There was a crossover there. Actually, I think it was the final episode of one of the seasons of Discovery introduced. I don't know. As I understand it, the entire second season, I'm not sure, I guess, but there was some crossover there too. There was also a great, I think we had talked about it either last week or the last time we had done this. There was a great kind of a retelling, if some pieces of history had changed, a retelling of the Balance of Terror episode from the original series. There are a couple of different things.
Lower Decks.
Crossover between Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds. No, but that's funny to me because, animation and all. But
yeah, the Boimler and Mariner do come to Strange New Worlds. I've seen pictures of the actors, like Jack Quaid, and he's got his purple hair. So apparently, the animated characters make a real life or a real time cameo or whatever appearance in Strange New Worlds somehow.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah.
So they, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've seen before, the actors look pretty close to their so that makes for an easy whatever. No, I have not seen that one yet. That must be this season, and yeah, I just haven't. I like waiting and then watching a little mini marathon, maybe 3 or 4 episodes over the course of the night.
Yeah, I like that
and
too.
then kind of wait again a little bit. And unfortunately, what it tends to do is I tend to kind of do that, but mistime it, because like episode or a lot of seasons now end up being like 13 episodes. So I may watch like, whatever, 3, 3, 3, and 3 equals 12, 4, 4, and 4 equals 12. And I'm like, oh shoot, I got one more episode that I've got to watch. And I always forget to watch it for like years. So there are many a series that I've not seen a final episode of a season. And typically, if I miss it in a season finale, that means that I ultimately am that far behind on the next season, or however far they've gotten, because I can't watch those without watching that one. But if it's a series finale, oh my god, I'm like, I've completely missed. I don't know how Lost ends. I don't know how Friends ends. I mean, I don't know. I just haven't seen that. No, but seriously, there are series that I have.
Well, I don't know how Friends starts. That's different.
That's how it starts. I
didn't know till a week ago. I'd never seen.
Right?
I'd heard the theme, but I never saw the actual video of
it's the Rembrandts, and the Rembrandts are a great 90s band that unfortunately that was like the biggest hit that they had because of the show. But they're a lot of fun. And if you see we shared the video on the music video, the full thing. So it's the Rembrandts playing, and then the friends absconding with them, stealing them all. I shared
the opening theme. I shared the opening of the show of the first season, the original opening. That was just the characters, the actors, in all the different places.
Couches around a fountain and umbrellas and the whole thing. Yeah,
and then I shared the video that's the band and the actors goofing around. And why are we talking about that, Steve-O?
Because we were talking about.
No, but why were we talking about that? Why were we showing Marilyn Friends?
Because everyone likes to pivot. Oh no, that's not why. Sorry, Ross. Because Xenu Nation is asking for your help to create a short video with your camera, landscape. That means I just had my camera here, my phone here. that means keep it wide, side to side.
Hamburger. No,
oh, it's over
hot
here.
dog.
Keep it wide, side to side. There we go. And take a quick video or film a quick video of yourself, your family, your friends having fun, goofing and spoofing like they do in the opening of Friends. Use that as inspiration, but don't try to copy frame for frame the opening of Friends. But we're looking for a great, exciting opening for Xenu Nation, and who better to be in that opening for Xenu Nation than Xenu Nation itself, and that means all of you. So that's why we were sharing the Friends video, because Marilyn hadn't seen it, and we're just kind of giving ideas. So anyway, I'm taking
Yeah,
video.
but I don't
no, go ahead.
dance. I can sing some really bad karaoke, but I don't dance. So sorry.
Sound
You know,
doesn't.
and ain't nobody want to see that.
No, sound doesn't matter. I mean, okay, if it's not dancing, it's whatever.
Doesn't have to be dancing, actual
It's-
serious
right,
dancing.
right.
Watch
No,
the
it's
opening
goofy.
of Friends. They're doing whatever.
It's
fun.
it's goofing around. It's just
No.
I mean, if you're throwing water balloons at your kids and you get a good filming of that, that's great. That's if whatever it is, we're just looking for fun, having a great old time, and we'll splice it all together to the opening theme music that we've already established for Xenu Nation. And my God, like I say, who better than to have all of you in there?
Here's what I did. I put my computer with Xenu Nation, like with the show on, and then I put my phone in front of it to film on my phone because the camera is better. Like this.
Just like that.
And then I started filming, and then I hit play on the music, and then I just I'm crazy, and then I stopped filming. So so I was actually doing stuff to that music, to that.
Is
rhythm.
crocheting too boring? I mean, I could probably make it exciting.
Yeah, if you're
Make
doing
it
fun
exciting to the
crocheting,
sound of-
big movements and stuff, yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I crochet to it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but
really think
but
you
my
should.
suggestion is do it when you film it. Listen to the song at the same time. Listen to the music.
Crochet
at the
to
same
the
time.
beat of the
Because then
song.
Yeah.
then you're just feel the music. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to dance. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Definitely don't have to dance. Don't even have
All
to
right.
wave your arms around. If you're walking the park with your dog and your boy dog sees some sexy girl dog and lunges and pulls you really fast, and your spouse happens to be filming you from the other side of the park, that's humor right there. That's a good old haha time. So that's
As long as it's landscape.
Right,
it's
we don't care.
landscape. Yeah, nothing is funny in portrait.
Mm-mm.
Nothing is funny in portrait.
Except for Chad.
Except for his short.
He would have been a lot funnier in landscape, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I mean, I guess little Chad looks good right now, and if that's from the landscape camera, we can't tell. But point being, just have some
That's
fun.
because the computer. That's the webcam.
What are we doing with the webcam?
Because it's on the webcam. It's not on his phone. He films on his phone.
That's why. Got it.
Okay, can I just put this question up from Joe? She's had it up for a while and
Yes.
repeated it. So this is for Mark. Mark, you want to read
good.
this one?
Question from Mark: can you read the Hebrew alphabet? If so, does that let you read the Arabic alphabet? I guess that's what she meant. I can read Arabic, actually Perso-Arabic, and recognize some letters of Hebrew. Does it work the other way? Yes, I can read Hebrew. I can read classical Hebrew and modern Hebrew. They're very similar. Pronunciation is just a little different. Unless you mean abjad, unless you're talking about something different, I apologize. But yes, I can. And it is actually very easy, I find, to read Hebrew. I don't know anything about Arabic or the Arabic scripts. Like I know they use it in Farsi and they use it in Urdu, but I have no clue. To me, of all the alphabets, I think Arabic script is the most intimidating, because when I look at Arabic script, I see, no offense to anybody, but I see a bunch of scribbles, and to me that looks very, very weird. And I don't know how anyone can discern between the letters, but they can. Obviously, it's not that bad. And please clarify on Abjad. Unless Abjad is not alphabet, then I'm talking about something else. But yeah, as an alphabet which doesn't, right? Oh, yes, I have to have I have to have the vowels. I cannot read words that are just the consonants because in Hebrew, for example, when you have signs, street signs or big billboard signs, they only use the consonants. And why they do that is because when they construct their words, if you remove all the vowels, it doesn't really matter. The consonants that are shaped up from right to left, you can discern what the word is. You don't need the vowels. But I'm not that good yet in Hebrew, so I have to have the vowels. I can't discern between just consonants because to me that's too weird and it's not logical to my brain yet. But hopefully one day I'll get there. So yeah, thank you so much, Joe. But I love Hebrew. Hebrew is an amazing language, great culture, and there's I'm sure Joe knows that there's two forms of Hebrew. There's the Ashkenazi Hebrew and the Sephardic Hebrew, and the modern Hebrew is based on Sephardic Hebrew, which most people know. So yeah.
So if you
Have
were
you ever
to go,
seen?
oh, go ahead. Sorry, there's a lag.
Yeah, I think we just started talking at the same time too. Yeah, there is a lag for sure. No, I was gonna say, have you ever seen Cyrillic cursive? That's intimidating.
I like Cyrillic. I was learning Cyrillic because a couple weeks ago, I think I mentioned the last time I was in Skopje, Macedonia, and I wanted to read the street signs, which is where my mom is from, and my mom knows how to read Cyrillic, and I have family again that reads Cyrillic. So I was learning Russian and Macedonian Bulgarian Cyrillic. Also, not very difficult to learn. Their cursive is a little tricky. I even find it hard. I mean, I learned cursive English when I was in school. It's probably part of the last generation that did it, but I still find it very difficult to read personally. So yeah, if it's a script that I'm not as familiar with, plus it's in cursive, it is tricky. And
Yeah, no,
there are some
because
letters, yeah, that are hard.
I might have forgotten it by now, but I knew the Russian Cyrillic because I took
Oh,
Russian, and then I in class I also had to write in cursive, so I could
mhm.
write in cursive, but I couldn't read it. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You
If
can
I
write it, but you can't read it because to write it, if you know what the cursive equivalents of the symbols are, you can put them together and form words. And I could, but then to read that back is just insane. And there is a rule like you have to have an extra little thing here to make it this letter and not that letter. So I had a teacher really teach me, so I could actually write a little bit, but I couldn't read it. It's
yeah,
insanely
and
difficult.
in history, some of the stuff that I'm doing is I've been able to here in Hungary, I've been able to get marriage records, birth certificates, and death certificates of family members on my dad's side, but half the stuff I can't read because it's in cursive writing, and it's in Hungarian. I know and understand it, but not what it's in cursive. I just what for whatever reason find it incredibly difficult to interpret. Um, and again, I'm part of like the last generation that had to learn cursive writing. I don't think anyone after 1990, 95 in Canada at least knows cursive writing because it's just, I don't know. I've just not, maybe it's obsolete. I don't know. It definitely looks nicer, looks cleaner, looks more professional, but it's, yeah, it's tough. And then adding an additional alphabet you're not familiar with is,
Yeah.
it's impossible. Yeah.
Oh, we got some more star questions. So we got a series of Discord comments and questions.
Ooh, let's tackle those because then I gotta go.
Okay, Space Cadet Brett. I love the SPTV.
Space Cadet Brett, I love. Sorry.
You can read it. It's for you.
I love the SPTV Discord, Michelle. I think that's exactly what this community needs. Something that connects it all. Wink. Thank you. And thank you, Space Cadet Brett. You rock. I agree. But that's why I made it. And also no pressure. I want to make it as easy as possible for people new to Discord to use. So I am like, if I like use words that y'all don't understand, please tell me, because I work in tech too. So like, and I mean, a lot of what I've been doing on the Discord is like automating things, which involves a lot of technology talk in my head. So I can definitely get in the weeds.
And
Gotcha.
also, Michelle, you have made a video. I think you mentioned. I don't know if you mentioned it. I'm confused now. But if I know you mentioned here. I know I've seen it. You made also a video on your channel explaining like the basics of Discord. So if anybody
Hi.
is completely lost, hello.
Hi, sweetie.
Hey,
If anybody's completely lost for Discord, you should go to Michelle's channel and check out her video, her intro to Discord. She explains using the SPTV Discord. It's very cool.
it's very complex and it's only made for gamers. Stay away.
Shut up, Steve.
Yeah, any hardcore Discord user is gonna be like, no, don't come on here. But that's not me. Space Cadet Brett again says somebody hang. Oh yes, Space Cadet Brett has been looking for people to hang out in the voice chat or the voice channel on this Discord server. My anxiety won't let me do it. I apologize, but I will gladly like make whatever voice channels, like if we want different themes, topics, anything like that, and basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. I mean, it's like a large group chat, but where you can actually just like come off mute and talk to each other, like Clubhouse. If you've ever used Clubhouse, kind of like that within Discord, but I don't personally use it. I'm happy to open it up in the Discord server, but
I used to
Brett
use it for
needs help.
gaming, but you know, to talk to other people, like when you play like MMORPG.
Quick,
you
Bob,
talk to
turn
everybody,
left. You're gonna get shot. Yeah. All that.
So yeah, so you need to have everybody there, and then we end up making friends, but we were talking to people
Right.
but for this kind of thing, I also like, but I'm,
Could be. I think the idea was thrown out there to do some voice chats like after big video drops, just to like, if that kind of like the Surge video, if there hadn't been that live stream right after where everyone kind of got to like, oh my God, talk about the emotions that they just experienced and like get together and like commiserate. If there hadn't been that, it might be a good place to do that. But
and also I believe you can hang out and can like have video or movie night or something. So you could set up something like, oh, let's watch Going Clear again, or let's watch something else, that's related
absolutely,
to the
you can
topic,
watch
to the
things as a
interest of
group.
people.
That's
So
great.
yeah, I don't know how that works, but I know it's possible.
Catch
I'd be
up
happy
on
to
your
test it with someone sometime.
live streams. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I think this is regarding the chatathon during the day for Clearwater time. Yeah, so it's 2 p.m. to midnight, 12 a.m. Clearwater time. The reason we did that also is because a lot of our the people that are organizing it with us, like Liz and Vanessa, live in California, and so they're Pacific time. So and some of the creators are in that time zone as well, in Central time. So and then we wanted the UK people and the European people to be able to participate as well. So it's a 10-hour stream, but it's going to start at 2:00 Eastern. So that's what 7:00
And I'm
UK
too old
time.
for all-nighters. The last chatathon really messed with my sleep schedule and my it was
I agree. It was tough. Yeah.
It was fun, but I'm like,
days.
can we please just have them during the day?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was special because it was like for Mike, it was like, okay, we'll do
Yeah.
anything. We'll stay up all night. And of course we'd stay up all night for Bob Ferris too, but this works out better with the time. And this way we can have more of the creators come on because most of them live in the US. We might have some from the UK. I'm not sure yet, but most of them live in the US, and asking them to stay up all night, especially with a week's notice, and a lot of them work. So we had them on Monday night, both times, I think. Wait, I know last time it was a Monday night, and a lot of people work Monday through Friday. So decided to change it to a weekend. And that was Julie's idea. Julie's got the best idea.
I gotta run, you guys, but real quick, I just wanted to I wanted to call out this. If you could find it, this comment from
I'll grab
Tatiana.
it for you.
There's
There's this one for you first, and then I'll get that.
Thank you. And I
There's-
saw your comment that you're covering the lawsuit on your channel, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I had that one start here too, but yeah, this is it here. So
perfect. Yeah, I'll have to check
bring
that out.
I'll bring this one again because I just So Tatiana here said, where is it? Here.
Oh,
Michelle.
here you go. I'm also connected with I Got Out. I love Jarette. Yes, her writing work is so wonderful. Her writing group is so wonderful. And that was the other one. Her Writing to Reckon workshop is so great. She's one of the co-founders. And her and Lisa are the two people that I'm working most closely with. I literally was just texting them while I was waiting for you to let me onto the stream. We're just like, we're working to get this fundraiser for their nonprofit kicked off, and I'm so excited about it. But like, in addition to that, I wanted to call this out because Jarette has, if you look it up, Writing to Reckon, she does workshops that basically just, they will help you if you have like any kind of experience that you feel like you need to work through by writing about it, but you just don't even know where to start, or maybe you have been thinking about writing a book or a memoir or something like that, and you have absolutely no clue where to start, anything like that. She's done it all, and she hosts these workshops. She's written a book about her cult experience. It's beautiful, and I highly recommend. I've done it. I've done 2 of her workshops, and I work closely with her. She's a wonderful person.
Before you go, can we take another one of those screenshots?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking we should do that every time, and then we'll have a different thumbnail every time.
That's a good idea.
So
What
who
should
wants
I
to look
do?
where? Little Chad is going to be sitting there because unfortunately Chad's not
Little
here.
Chad, you look at Marilyn.
Little Chad's just
Can't
looking at
turn
the
him.
camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Funny.
Michelle's looking at Mark. Mark, who do you want to look at?
I'll look at
Steve-O?
Chad. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'll say that's Steve-O.
Okay.
Okay, I'll look at Steve-O too.
Well, then I have to look at Marilyn.
There you go.
Oh, wait. Do I have to look at?
You can look at Chad.
I'll look at little
Okay.
Chad. Okay.
Am I
I don't
looking
know.
at
Do we
Marilyn?
have to? Are we all looking in line like this? Okay, that's
I don't know.
Works. You look at Chad if you want. You can look at. We can look.
Maybe
I
you
don't know,
look down. Steve will look down at
Look down?
Juliet. At Juliet. There you go. She'll look up
Look
at you.
anywhere, and please somebody screenshot. If not, we can do it later. Just hold your
I'll come
position.
back.
3, 2, 1.
We got it. I think it's
Okay.
good.
We can go back and pause it and
Oh, this was so fun. Thank you guys for having me on for a
thanks.
while. I'm in a dip, but I will for sure be back on whenever you'll have me. And I would love,
Yeah, this is great.
if any of you guys want to do like Marilyn, we had kind of like talked offline about maybe doing like answer questions about like the Discord, and maybe I can help you relate it to like how it is kind of the same concept as what you created on Facebook, and I think that would be a really cool conversation to have.
Yeah, let's do that. And I've got a list for you. I would like to do a stream on LLMs. I'd like to do a stream on this
Hell yeah.
whatever that
Neurodiversity.
is. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it all. Okay, first I've got playlists on my YouTube channel. I've got videos on all 3 of those things. So I will be happy to have any conversation with you guys anytime.
Nice.
And thanks for having me on.
All right.
thanks for
Thank you.
joining
Have a
us.
great day.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Mhm.
All right. So here we are. There was one about the lawsuit. Did we put this one up? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
We
Naomi
had,
Hills.
but we didn't answer it. We didn't
Oh,
mention it.
right, because we were talking about something else.
Right.
I think I did, yeah. Hopefully, Kendra will be gotten out by law enforcement since they can prove he was trafficked in the last week. Yeah, he wasn't he doing his steps? What is that called, Mark, when you're routing out? He was doing.
Yeah, it's called the routing out process. That was a gentleman right from Ohio that was shipped to California.
Columbus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I think I watched Aaron's video on it. So I guess he wants to come out of the Sea Org, then he would have to go through what's called the routing out process, which, by the way, can take a long time. It can take, in some cases, months, if not a year. It's not something you do like overnight unless you're being offloaded very quickly, like I was. Mine happened within a few days, which is, depends on on what's going on. But in the Sea Org, it can take a while. So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully that person will, good things will come in the end, and like you say, get law enforcement involved or whatnot. But yeah, it's Scientology is not a thing you just leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I'm
don't
sure
just
they,
leave it.
they have law enforcement involved, and because
yeah.
calling was just having them tell people to go to the website, so it's not really going to
Yeah.
help much.
Yeah, the process itself, just to be very brief, is basically you go on what's called a routing form. Everything is bureaucratic, and so the routing form has a number of steps. So if you're supposed to route out or you're leaving a staff position, you basically have to tell the person or tell your department your entire job. Like I literally had to spend, leaving Berlin, I had to spend about a week to a week and a half writing down every single task that I did for the org, writing it down, and also um, I was using the computer daily. So I literally wrote down like, okay, I'm at the start menu, press 1, that's this, press 2, that's this, like literally every little tiny thing. And then once you're done that, you've got to go to different terminals to get signatures. And then of course,
And
eventually
by
you get your
terminals,
freeloader bill and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, you got sec checked.
and
Yeah.
by terminals, you mean people,
Terminals, yeah, excuse me.
not as
People in
okay.
the
Oh,
org, yeah. So you go to
oh,
you
okay.
might go to your
I was thinking
might go to the
terminals
ethics
like a
office.
bus terminal. I was just
No,
picturing
sorry.
like all these like I don't know
That's
cubicles with
my
those metal things that you walk through. Like
no,
yeah,
no, sorry. That's my
turn
Scientology sneaking in.
what do you call those?
People like the ethics officer, you might have to go to your superior or your senior officer. Yeah, people. Sorry, that's what I mean by terminal. So usually you have to go to ethics. You do have to go to treasury, which is my department. You have to go see different people inside the organization because they are a part of the step-by-step process. So when you route onto staff, when you route off of staff, you have to go through different things. And yeah, anyways, it's a whole bureaucratic nightmare. And again, it takes a long time. Plus, sec checking is usually a part of it as well. So, and of course, they add that onto your freeloader bill.
Of
So,
course.
yeah,
Course.
not an easy
And
thing
then
to
you just
do.
get
Not
declared
not an easy
anyway.
thing to do.
Yeah. Usually they
Some
don't.
people will get declared. You'll usually get declared PTS or SP, but mostly PTS, like Alexander did. Alexander Bonzaros. I don't think I got a declare, like that's the thing, but I definitely got what they call a leaving staff goldenrod, which is like pretty serious in some sense. So you'll get something that sort of explains to you why you're just a horrible person, but you still have to pay the Church of Scientology for all the courses you took, like again, manipulative, bureaucratic horse crap. And
Yes,
yeah,
I
it can
believe
take a
them.
while. It can take a long time.
Whenever I hear those stories of, for example, the one that you just mentioned of the process of routing out, but when I hear about how the TRs are not in session, or when I saw Reckless Ben talking about his experience there, and then he filmed inside a little bit, of his auditing session, I just have a feeling that I would never be, well, of course, never say never, but it just sounds so desperately boring is not even a strong enough word. It's just like
Yeah.
painful, like emotionally
Yep.
painful. It's just that alone, in my opinion. I like to say, like, oh, everybody has the right to believe and do whatever they want. So of course, if you want to be a Scientologist, be a Scientologist. But it'd be Scientology, be a Scient. I don't care so much what you believe, but I mind the abuse, and I mind, but it's hard not to feel that the very nature of Scientology is abusive, you know? So of course, I respect people that say, oh, I got a lot of positive things out of, like Mark Fisher, for example, he had gains, you know, like he liked some of and then I heard him say like, oh, I think like the beginners, like the what's that called, introductory courses are helpful, or they could be, you know, be used as like seminars. And I don't know if I agree with him. Of course, that's his experience. It's valid. But like overall, I don't think that that's the most effective. I think there are more effective ways to do the same things that are not as painful, not as it just seems like torture to me, you know. But of course, I'm speaking as an outsider who just listens to stories secondhand. But it just
Yeah,
sounds
it's a
terrible.
hassle. It's a hassle. So when you first start to do those intro courses, you don't know because you're not on staff. But like I can go back to my public experience, you are on what's called a routing forum. So the moment that you get in there, everything is controlled by the people of who you see, who you don't see, where you're supposed to go, where you're not supposed to go. And then the moment you end a course, you are automatically put on another routing form, which means the assumption is you're going on another course. So there is nothing in there that says, let's just take a break, let's relax a little bit, let's like use our, rational side of our brains to figure out, am I actually better now that I've taken the course? Like, were there positives and negatives? No, there were only positives. Like, it's very manipulative, and that starts on day one. So the moment that you intend to go in there and start a course, they already know the next 2, 3, 4 steps that you're going to do, and you're just doing it. And if you have a problem with it, it's a hassle. I mean, it's they make your life miserable, because most of the time people just want to, like for me, I should say, I just wanted to go in and like finish a course. Like that's usually what people want to do. They just want to try one course to see if it works. And then they're going to judge after that whether or not they want to go forward. But that doesn't happen, because you go in, and if there's a problem, you got to go in again, but you're not doing your course. You got to handle these outside external problems. So they're controlling you again. And then again, the moment you get back on your course where they're still controlling you, the second you end the course, you're back onto another course. And so it's basically like autopilot. And anytime you veer away, it's a nightmare. Very manipulative.
The
So
level of
yeah.
control
And
is just
again,
insane.
yeah, and it's again even worse when you join staff, even worse when you join the Sea Org, because then there's your freeloaders involved, your sec checking is involved, and oh yeah, let me tell you, it's yeah, it's not fun. They make their people's lives a living hell. Absolutely.
Steve, are you there? Are you
No,
thinking?
no.
Do you want to? Okay. Do you want to take the start questions? Do you want me to?
Oh, I don't care. Sorry, I'm just teasing. Yeah, no, I don't care. I certainly can. Let me get to them here.
Yeah.
Um,
Steve-O was having a deep thought, reflective moment. I could see.
Oh, because that was exhausting. Just just listening to it.
It's so,
you know,
just think of all the mental energy that you have, and it just gets drained out of you. So
right.
if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, maybe with a job or maybe with a person or whatever, and you literally just feel 100% drained of physical and mental energy at the same time, where you're literally just like going through life where you don't have the energy literally to like fight back or do what you want. You're just
Yeah.
kind of coasting.
Been there.
That's Scientology time, but times at least 10. So you just go along, you okay, sure, okay, fine, I'll do this, whatever. And they wear you down. So yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just no. Stephen Britton says if we do an MLM stream, he has a few things to say about them. Excellent.
I think that, I don't know if that was directed to Michelle, but Michelle talks about MLMs in her channel. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
but
We-
you know,
we
we're
could-
not we're not allowing him to leave us to go over there. So
No,
you know,
I'm not saying now because she's not live there now, but check her out. I've posted the link earlier somewhere. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I don't know why.
I don't know what this is about,
That's true.
but
I do.
Yeah.
what's that
I
in
do-
but I
what's
think- I think we're not
I know
going in-
I know what he's talking about, but what's that in reference to? Was there a
I just want let's get this one. I just want to go back because there's I think you're starting from the bottom. There's older start questions that I'd like to get to that
Oh, did I
are
did
from-
I move? I thought I was thinking this was the top. Okay.
I think you started from the
Oh,
middle.
you're
or
right. No,
something.
I grabbed this one from the bottom. You're right.
But we can this is when because Mark was talking about routing out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's the story that Mark Headley,
There
I
it
think,
is.
tells, right?
Basically, there's a few things that you can say in Scientology where you will get dismissed in a moment. One of them is saying you have some kind of sexual fantasy with like Tom Cruise or David Miscavige. Anything considered homosexual, whether that's male to male, female to female. Another one is if you are mixing practices. So I remember, I don't think I've actually said this publicly, this story before, but when I first got in to do Dianetics auditing, which is called twinning, that's when you do auditing with another person. There was a gentleman who was from Newfoundland, and he originated that he wanted to walk on water. That was his thing. He wanted to walk on water. He was gone literally by the end of the day.
Oh wow.
I need to.
So
I
I'm
need
just
to
saying,
clear an MU here. What's originated? I've heard it before, but
That
I'm
just
not
means-
sure exactly.
it just means to say something like to originate a thought in the presence of other people. So
So like he said it.
originating is stating it basically. He said it in the middle of with course supervisor was when you do dining setup auditing, you do it basically in the
What you doing?
classroom or
Did
whatever.
I do
and
that?
yeah, so
I don't know who did
I hit
that.
I hit the wrong button and then I
Oh,
hit
you
the,
did that. Okay.
I hit the wrong button, then I hit the wrong button again to reset it. So that's why there were 3 to get it back. So figured it out now.
but basically he said to the course supervisor while we were doing our auditing session, he wanted to walk on water, and by the end of the day he was gone. If you say that you're the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard, there's a few things that they will just offload you right away. But most of the time you have to be pretty extreme. Or if you don't want to give up meditating, if you don't want to give up doing yoga, if you don't want to give up doing chanting, you're gone. Or if you say something like yeah, I was L. Ron Hubbard in a previous life or whatever. Like,
But Mark, you can be a
you're out.
Scientologist and a Christian. You can be a Scientologist
really.
and a Buddhist.
Right.
No, you can't.
Yeah, we know. Oh, we know.
No.
So most
Especially
of that-
not in a
most-
Sea Org.
Most of that doesn't
the Sea
surprise
Org,
me.
right?
Yoga surprises me a little bit just because of the yoga being and I know there's a religious or often culty aspect to yoga, but yoga itself seems to be more of a a physical thing.
But I think it's more secularized these days, and it wasn't as much when LRH was alive. I think a lot of Scientology also
Yeah.
is outdated, culturally speaking, because it was written
Even in
when Hubbard
Christian
was alive,
circles
and
is
that
the
was a
same.
different time.
50s, yeah.
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 Meditation.
Like meditating, chanting yoga. Meditating,
Okay.
chanting yoga can be secularized as just an activity. Whether it's spiritual or not, it doesn't matter. People can do it. It's like, yoga is within the fitness umbrella, and chanting and stuff, and even meditating is kind of within a relaxation, mental health kind of umbrella. But it's a no-no. It's a big no-no in Scientology because you're supposed to just be focusing on auditing. And so apparently there are all these different practices and even medications that are supposed to interfere with your auditing, like taking aspirin for whatever stupid reason,
Yeah.
whatever. And so it's just nonsense. It's just always goes back to controlling people and controlling what you're doing. But there's no reason not to mix practices. It's just, it's not kosher. And that's because that's what LRH said. And that's what it is. There's no rhyme or reason or logic. It's just, he said it because, and that's what you do. You follow it.
Yep.
So you just said that's not kosher. Speaking of which, can you eat kosher as a member, or is that again, right? It's kind of a religious.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Dietary restrictions, that they don't care in Scientology. Dietary restrictions, yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing like, as far as I would say, the only thing is once you get over to that famous OT4, most people stop drinking alcohol or whatever. Because, like, I mean, some Scientologists, like when we were on staff, December Festivus, December 23rd, there's a beer and cheese party. So drinking alcohol is not necessarily forbidden. But most people, when they go to OT4 or higher, because you get this idea that, you know, your BTs were doing space coke and all that stuff that we talked before. And I've talked before about that, the OT drug rundown. Most people are very put off by drinking, but there really isn't a rule. And then eating foods, like you'll find, you know, vegans and vegetarians and people who are pescatarian or kosher or whatever. They don't care about what you're eating. They simply care about medications and then certain other spiritual practices and your money. That's all. Really, in the
Right.
end, that's all they care about. So if
It's all
you're
the
eating,
money.
yeah, if you're eating, you know, matzah and kosher chicken and a good arugula or something, they couldn't care less, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
To that point, Space Coke soon to be available at the Denver Steve-O merch store.
Oh boy.
Nice. Yeah. Yes,
Can't
black
wait.
market. As long as it's neon colored, I think that would be a good one. Like a good neon green powder. That's what I think of when
Oh,
I
yeah.
think of Space Coke,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
That would explain
It's just
Xenu's
rational,
skin coloring.
logical.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm not too sure what
yeah.
this was in reference to Free Xenu Project. I've linked other videos to Florida Governor as well. I just want to do what I
know.
can.
I
Okay.
know. Let me try to
DeSantis,
remember
I
now.
guess.
We were talking about the calling the LA org.
Oh,
Oh,
Can
So
I think
Ken-
either
Kendra.
that. It's no. I don't think that's the one. I
To
think it's
Florida Governor.
about Liz. It's either that or Liz.
okay.
That, yeah, something.
Either way.
Just about spreading awareness and you know, talking to authorities and
Free Xenu Project. I will say this though, right now with his struggling in the polls, I don't know how soon it will be till the governor actually sees that.
it was
DeSantis.
neither though. It was Serge's
DeSantis-
video, even better.
Oh, even better.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Even
in start
better because that's an excellently well produced video.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Definitely.
video.
Okay. Julie, question. Juliana, did you start a new channel, a YouTube channel?
Yes and no. So Lady BB, I have had, it's the same channel that I had before because I had my account here and then, you know, that I used to comment and everything. I changed the name, I changed the handle because I have an idea for a channel, but it's not really going to be anything like, ooh, super specific, but it's at Scientologist. And it's linked in the description of the video. And so far, I'm only I'm simul streaming with, you know, these nutty never inners and was-er inner. And I have a draft of an idea, a draft of a script for an introductory video, but it's not probably going to be anything extra produced or extra thought. It's just going to be something to. My idea is to discuss like the. I don't want to say the lore because it sounds like I'm going to go deep into the lore, but it's to discuss like not the teachings, not the tech part of Scientology, but the lore. Like, oh, what's the difference? What's the, you know, why? I'm not. My thoughts aren't really translating into words today. I am sorry. I don't think I slept very well last night. But yeah, check it out if you want, and please subscribe if you want. And thank you.
She was doubting
The
me
science fiction.
She was doubting me when I said that Xenu was the creator, based on my thought that Xenu with his space planes brought the Jello covered people into the volcanoes, you know, all of that. The Thetans came about and then, you know, ended up sticking to people that popped up. and I thought, I am who I am because of Xenu. And if L. Ron Hubbard is bad, then therefore Xenu is good, and Xenu is the creator, and of course the homeboy as well. And we had a little debate about that, and that seemed to spark an idea that we're all looking forward to seeing. And but
I don't expect anything extra. Like you articulate things way better than I do. I'm gonna have you over and we'll talk about it informally. That's probably gonna be my channel. Sorry to interrupt.
just remember, if you're ever in doubt, we're all in this together.
That's right.
Yeah, I think if we say that
Absolutely.
enough, that'll wake her up. So
I'll get her singing.
I am super tired. I was late.
Well,
Oh, I
we
was
can
up super late last night
Yeah.
watching a lot of SPTV and
I
drinking
lost my
wine and
headphones, so
drawing
if
and
you guys
doing
say anything
whatnot.
to me, I won't be able to hear you for a minute.
And then
Yeah, we can wind
I
down.
was
We're
late for
coming up
lunch
on the
and I'm
2 hour.
tired.
Yeah. We're coming up
Let's
on
get to those comments.
Together.
Okay. Mach is what Joe calls her. Sophia, I could have my brother record me pressure washing Tuesday. There we go.
Sounds like something
your video?
fantastic for the intro. Yeah. Send it on over.
On Tuesday. Okay. So
Yeah,
Tuesdays
yeah.
is pressure washing day.
And if you're
Awesome.
sudsing up the car, that's good too.
Even better.
You
Which-
said that, not me.
I just need to pop something up here real quick. Hey,
Oh,
Hi, sweetie. Who's that? Is that E? Hey,
That's
E,
E.
hi.
Alicia, hi,
Good to see you, honey.
welcome.
That's an E.
I'm
E.
sorry, Marilyn.
D with an E. No, I'm glad.
I'll
Good to see her.
I'll pull the thing back up.
Okay.
Here.
That's all right. Witness, I learned Russian back in the day. I'm a surprisingly good Russian typist, but at Convo. Awesome.
Nice.
But at Convo, no, maybe?
Conversational. Not at
At
Convo.
conversational. I don't know if there was something else there. I got lost. I knew I could speak like my name is. I had it's a little bit culty, but not really. I had a Russian name in Russian class, but it's more because of the sounds of the language. Our teacher renamed everybody in class. She chose a Russian name for everybody just for the fun of it. So I was gonna say it's a little bit culty because it's renaming, you know. So,
They
but
do
it was
that.
kind of funny.
Yeah, they do that in Spanish too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spanish class.
Yeah, I usually don't
Mhm.
like that, but for Russian it was fun. I studied Russian in English because I studied Russian in the US, so it was quite the experience. But it's interesting because I knew all my classmates by their Russian names and I didn't know their real names. Yeah. I know how to say my name is, but it's very weird because I knew how to say my name is and my name in Russian, but I couldn't say my name is and my actual name. I wouldn't even know how to pronounce it or anything.
Right.
So I could say like my name is, I'm 25 years old, I live in Detroit. You know, I could say those things because I remember when I still knew a little bit Russian, I would say things like, oh, I know how to say I'm 25 years old and I live in Detroit, but I don't know how to say I'm 30 years old and I live in Brazil. You know, like I live in Brazil, I could say, but
All right.
but yeah.
I took 3 years of German class in high school, and my best friend and I. So the first semester of whatever it was, 9th grade, I was Hans and he was Franz, and this was during the Saturday Night Live Hans and Franz skits. And then the next semester we switched names, so he was Hans and I was Franz. And then the next semester, the next year, we switched names again, and then did the same thing. German teacher just didn't know. She's like, you, whoever. So yeah, it was great. She just gave up after a time. So
That's great.
oh, there was also we added third year another friend, and so we were Hans, Franz, and Strans, and right, we just made up a name that sounded like it, and so yeah, and then second semester we kind of rotated the names again, and yeah, but she had already given up by then, so it was great. Yeah,
Smart
That's
teacher.
awesome.
still can't speak that language though. Passed that class on extra credit.
So it looks like Joe wrote a little song, little ditty. I'm not sure what it's supposed to. The tune
Oh, we
is
know.
supposed to be. You do?
You
Okay, go
don't,
ahead. Go
but
for
we
it.
do. So no one thought this group was gonna be this way. You
Oh,
joined a cult, but now you're out and life's okay. Sometimes the memories can make your heart bleed. But I don't know. It's not. Sometimes the memories can make your heart bleed. No, I don't know. But SPTV helps with recovery. I'll be there for you
Yep, there it
when
is.
the rain starts to pour. And I interpret dance too. You know,
Very nice. Very.
in high school
Okay, I
made
get
fun
it.
of me because I was saying everything like doing the like whatever the song
Awesome.
says. You know.
The sun, the rain. Yeah.
Yeah. When the
Can't
rain
imagine.
starts to pour. That's the teacher in me, you know. I think it spends 20 years going like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a very sing-songy like mom, and I did work in schools and stuff, and I always like to put everything to song and everything to emotions. Yeah, like it's a Bitsy Spider. I love that one. Okay, Discord question. Oh, was that me? I don't really know anything about Discord, so
That's
you
okay.
guys know anything?
I started that one even though I knew Michelle was leaving and I didn't have time to take that while she was here. So Discord question. Naomi asks, a friend's kid is being catfished on there, I'm pretty sure. Is there a way to find out who the person is, or is it very anonymous? I would actually say try to reach out to Michelle, because I'm sorry we didn't have time to ask her that question when she was here. But what I know is that Discord is actually quite anonymous. So it's like, I know there's a lot of bad things, not bad things, I don't know what I want to say, like, but there's some problematic things that happen in Discord that can happen in Discord, especially with children, and you gotta keep an eye out for that. But I know it's not completely anonymous because you have they have your IP or whatever, but you also have a unique username that doesn't have to show in your channel. Like you can change the name. You can change your screen name, but you have like a username that is unique to you. So I think there's a way that they can find out who it is if they're breaking any rules, because I've heard of people that had like pedophiles in the server and they were able to block them and notify Discord, and if they're breaking any kind of rules like that. So I think maybe Discord could help. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or if you know anything, Mark and Steve. Do you know Discord at all? No.
I don't know. I don't use
Okay,
Discord.
so Marcus does. Marcus does, because Marcus is hardcore gamer. He says here, the main thing is identity verification. Some servers do not required. So if you don't have a two-factor authenticator on the server, you cannot verify an identity. Okay, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's bad, I guess, right?
It's pretty anonymous. It's
I think it's more anonymous than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I'd say reach out to Discord.
Right. Their suggestion may be maybe something as simple as create a new account, and once you've created that new account, use a different username, because obviously the catfisher or the harasser is coming the other way. It knows the account that they're talking to.
But that's such a hassle, though.
Well, that's the thing. It's absolutely a hassle, and that's the problem with it. I mean, I call it a problem.
You can punish the wrongdoer,
Right, and it's. I mean, if it can be proven that they have broken their terms of use, then they can kick somebody off. But proving that is pretty damn impossible. I mean, it's very difficult to do. I mean, and I guess the question is, does catfishing do that? Maybe pretending you're somebody that you're not. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yes, the short answer, Julie's absolutely right. Probably the only way to actually pursue something like that would be speaking directly with Discord, and I don't know a route to get to the right people. Do you start with customer service and work your way in from there? I don't know, but they're the ones that you'll absolutely want to be in contact with. If something can, just if something can be proven or something can be,
Marcus said, "Sup, Mark?" And he also said something here that I thought was interesting. He said, "You can easily remedy that by only joining servers that require two-factor authentication." Why can't I say that word? 2FA. I don't know how I would know. Well, how would I know that though? I don't know, because I just click on links. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good tip. Definitely, if you know how to do that. If you only, yep.
You're a scammer and a grifter's wet dream, Juliana. You just click links.
I just click links. I just said it sounded wrong. I don't. Yeah, I'm too tired to. Like I said, my thoughts aren't coming out straight, but that's not true. I don't click whatever links I see.
I slept 13 hours last night.
Good for you. I was watching Janice and Laura and Jackson till late at night. It was so much fun.
Passed out before I even got to them. I got to watch them this morning. Yeah. So what does Freezy new project say? Whoever's clicking?
Marilyn.
You have no sound.
I'm clicking, but I keep clicking too soon because when someone takes a breath, I put something up, then there's more thoughts. So I didn't want to
gotcha.
Yeah,
double tapping too.
Gotcha.
I do that too.
Free Xenu Project says I have a lawyer friend, and he said he's checking, but he thinks the routing out process could be illegal in a lot of states, which he is contacting people to figure out. I was wondering that when, and I know Aaron doesn't necessarily explain dot by dot what's going on with the routing out process, and he doesn't need to, but I felt a little suspicious listening to it, going, I don't know, but that would be interesting to find out. Yeah, Mark, if you know the process, I don't know. I don't know if that's
Essentially, you have to prepare for a routing out process. And again, please understand that we're dealing with 3 different contracts. So you have the 2.5-year and 5-year staff contracts, and you have the Sea Org contract, right?
Right.
So the 2.5 and the 5-year, you don't just end it's not like, okay, I start on in May. I think I started on May 13 of 2007 was my first day, something like that, or maybe it was the 14th in Berlin. And 2.5 years after that day is when I just get up and leave. That doesn't happen. You have to prepare and plan to be routing out. And so if you don't do that, then on whatever that day is that you're supposed to be leaving, that's the day that you end your contract, and you start the routing out process. It can take months after that, or you do it before, but it doesn't matter, because you're still there. You're still doing the routing out process. It's just horrendous. You cannot just one day to the next stop going. You have to get their permission to leave. And there's so many different steps, because you have to return things, you have to plan ahead, you have to get signatures, you have to visit people, you have to get your ethics in, you have there's probably at least 20 steps, conservatively, 20 different things you have to do, if not more. So you either plan 3-4 months, 6 months ahead, or you tag whatever the routing process is after the fact. So after your 2.5 is over, whatever. So it's going to take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months, regardless, whether you do it before your contract ends or after. And then in the Sea Org, as I said, because there's so much, it's a 1 billion-year contract, you're not supposed to break it at all. It's considered even worse to break a Sea Org contract, and on and on and on. But yeah, does it violate law? Yeah, but will most states do anything about it? Not really, because it's considered a voluntary religious contract, which means that all of that is part of their own ecclesiastical judgment kind of process that you are a part of. So it's committees of evidence, which are their sort of tribunals, right? It's like, well, we saw this through the Denny Masterson situation. It's like all of that is just considered part of their own process, and the government, at least in the United States, throws its hands up because of the First Amendment, which is misinterpreted to mean, well, we can't interfere in anything because it's religious and it's a cultural taboo. But in most other countries, if it's violating a labor code or a human rights code or a civil rights code, that takes precedence. But in the United States, it's different, and it's really, really crappy. So what I would just say is, yeah, a lot of stuff that Scientology is getting away with, if it was a company, a corporation, a small
Oh,
business,
yeah.
sure, yeah, it
Yeah.
would be illegal, but it's legal because it's considered a voluntary church contract and they just can't do anything about it.
And it does sound like coercive control because,
Yeah,
like what Steven said,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's designed to just make you just throw your hands up and say, "Okay, I'll stay, fine, whatever,"
yep,
because they just make it
that's exactly
so
it.
difficult
Hmm.
to leave. It's just
It's a
insane.
pain. The amount of energy when you start in Scientology, of course, I remember starting with a lot of energy. And then by the time those, 3 years were over, it was just like, okay, just whatever. Like, I'll do whatever you want. Just leave me alone. Like, I just want to go to my job. I want to do my job. So if there's anyone that's coming to you and telling you to do things, you don't really have that, like, I don't know what you would call it. You don't have the energy, you don't have the feistiness, you don't have the drive, you don't have the ambition to basically just say no, like that, that feeling in your stomach, when something is wrong, you know what I mean? And you build up your energy and you're going to say, no, it's not right. It just disappears. And it's just like, okay, fine, I'll go to the tramming officer. I'll go to qualification. Fine. We'll do IMUs. Okay. Because it's just, they just drain all of that resistance out of you. And that's part of the process. It's to keep you
Mhm.
malleable. And then add on top of that, I think we talked about it a couple times before. Most people who are on staff in Sea Org are sleep deprived and deprived of food and all
Right.
that. It just adds to that where you just don't have the energy. You just don't want to deal with it. And so when somebody says jump, you don't even say how high, you just
Right.
jump,
Yeah.
because saying
Yeah.
how high is called Q&A. And you never do that. So your senior says jump, you jump. You don't even think about it, right? Like that. And that's the very energy draining kind of defeatist part of being a Scientologist, where you're
Yeah.
just so malleable and broken down. And the routing out process is exactly what that is. It's just, okay, even if it takes 6 months to route out after your 2.5 has ended, you're going to do whatever you want because in the end, you think you're going to be finally free. Of course, you're not, because you still got to come to do staff. You still got to maybe pay money. You still have to do, it's just like, so tremendously awful. It's, again, I don't think it's necessarily. I think it's very unique because it's a part of Scientology, but I do think that there are other instances in life where we can make parallels, but it's just a very, very, very toxic, very energy draining, culture in Scientology, and you just end up just shrugging your shoulders and just saying, okay, whatever, I'll do it, whatever. And I can't even imagine. I really can't even imagine for Sea Org. It just takes so long.
Yeah. Joe asked this question a little while ago, so and it ties into what
Yeah,
you're talking about. Did you get or pay a freeloader bill?
I got one, didn't pay it. My freeloader bill was somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 American dollars because of the staff status courses and a couple of other courses that I took. But no, I mean, I'm sure 100% that they expected me to pay and go back, to pay it and go back. But when I left Scientology, it was probably less than a week that I got routed off of staff. And then I decided to not be on staff anymore. And I hadn't had any contact with an org. I haven't been in a Church of Scientology since then. And yeah, there's no way I would pay $5,000 to $6,000. There's no way for
So when you
for the staff
oh,
courses
sorry.
and stuff. Yeah. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Was
I'm
I
sorry. Yeah.
muted?
What?
think I was muted. I think I made some comments.
Oh,
And I was
all right,
muted.
go ahead.
No, that was. I just realized that I've been
I
muted
didn't
for
see
a
your
long
I didn't see
time.
your
And I,
mouth moving because I've
and I
been
said a
reading the
couple
chat.
things. I'm like, yeah, I said a couple of like, I don't know. I didn't even know what I said. It was just like nothing important, but I just
That's
realized
okay.
I was muted.
Okay. Let's go on to the next question because I don't remember what I was gonna say. Okay, so that was that one. Sorry about that.
So I received one, of
so-
course, but I never paid.
So did you leave staff early? Did you route out early, or did you complete your full contract?
No, I did 9 months in Berlin, which was considered to be a wash, essentially. So when I got to the San Francisco org, they made me sign another 2.5-year contract, but I was only there for 2.5 months. So
Okay.
when I got routed out for being a member of a suppressive group, which was the whole thing with the internet and stuff that I talked about a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
Then they decided, then they basically said, well, you can't be on staff, so here's your we have to terminate this contract. And then they give me my routing form, my sec checking, my M1 word clear, all this crap. And so that's why it was 5,000-6,000, somewhere around there. Yeah. But I
Gotcha.
did not complete the 2.5-year contract.
Naomi wants to know, Mark, are you from Canada? I'm in Alberta.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
originally
okay,
from
sorry.
Toronto, but I don't live in Canada. I live in Hungary. But I am originally from Toronto.
I live in Hungary every day.
Hi,
I wonder if
Osa.
Osa-
Pay attention to Mark's tips for getting out. You never know.
Osa,
Yeah.
Probably is-
Tell them you're the
Osa.
reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard.
I
Yeah,
got
Today's a
right.
good day to
Osa
blow, Osa.
on my mind.
Yeah. I want to
Hi,
walk
Osa.
on
Get out.
water. I want to fly. That's another one. I want to fly. Anything that just makes you sound like a psychopath, but not a Scientology psychopath. Just a regular old psychopath.
Aren't you supposed to have magic powers like in the OT levels?
Superpowers.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. But you're not supposed to be able to walk on water or fly. That would be ridiculous. Just read people's minds and
Right.
and float your spirit away and exteriorize. That's not insane. But to walk
Yeah,
on water, that's where we draw the line.
So what we need to do.
throw hurricanes out of the out of the way.
Well,
Yeah.
right, says Mayas. What we need to do one of these weeks is have everybody come in with a specific superpower in mind. Could be very obscure, could be very, stock Superman type stuff. And then we just ask Mark if that would keep them in or if that would kick them out.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, geez, it just became a Cher song in my head when I lost my train of thought. But turning back time. If I could turn back time, would I stay or would I go? Would I stay or would I go?
Would I go?
There's two
The
songs.
thing is that's
Wait a minute, that's a
that's
whole
kind
different
of
song.
gray area. That's a gray area because when you're doing auditing, you can uncover past lives. So it's not like you're turning back time, but why would you want to when you can exteriorize and go back to the past and live different lives? Like you wouldn't want to turn back time. What would be the point of that? Because it wouldn't make any sense. What you could do is you could just exteriorize from your body and you could go back to the past as a Thetan to different planets and stuff like this. And so you could experience what life was like in the Andromeda galaxy on some planet a million years ago. And you could go experience what life was like there. So why would
Could
you
you
want to turn
change
back
it
time
into
on
go?
Earth? Let's say you wanted to turn back time so Xenu didn't do his whole thing. That's not, who cares?
No. Why would I want to stop that? No, I just want to go back to the 50s and well, actually, I'd go back to the I don't know whenever it was the 1890s, and I would kill baby Hitler, and then I would wait a few years, and then I would kill baby Ron. And I'm sure that would be okay.
I get you kicked out if you said I wanted to go. I want what I want, or if you said something along the lines of, I went back on my whole track and I realized that I was the doctor that delivered L. Ron Hubbard, and I was just about to kill baby Hubbard, but something stopped me. You'd probably get offloaded in about 4 seconds.
Huh.
But you could say that.
That's
Right, but
hilarious.
in all reality, if you get offloaded and you have family in, or that's all you know,
Yeah.
I mean, you're kicked out on the street. Yeah, probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But there's the
But
aftermath.
you could.
So
And you could
there's the
also make
aftermath
up the
foundation.
fact that you could also make up the fact that you knew Hubbard in a past life. I mean, you could. You might be able to get away with it. I'm saying you were a past life OT or a past life clear. You might even find a person, like you might even do some research and find, I don't know, Joe Schmo, who was a Scientologist from 1954 to 1960 in Omaha, Nebraska. And you're like, oh, well, that was me. You might be able to get away with that. You never know. Yeah.
Oh, Marcus
I just need some
says,
auditing.
Oh.
Marcus says,
Yep.
8 months of sec checking was part of my routing out. Jeez. And the state of mind I was in was definitely zombie malaise, highly suggestible state, and much was written.
Yeah. I was only about a week, which was still pretty rough, but 8 months. Yeah. I feel very sorry for you and all the compassion for you, Marcus, because that's yikes. I mean, my 1 week was hell. I can only imagine 8 months of that, man. It's awful.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My sympathies to you.
Yeah, it's like feels like POW camp or something. It's horrible. Horrible.
Oh yeah.
Stephen Britton, it's interesting that Scientology forbids meditation. The cause resurgent rundown is a meditation. Well, just their brand of meditation is okay, right?
Also, the first TR you do, OTTR 0, you're supposed to be standing like this or sitting like this, and and really someone is supposed to be doing exactly the same thing. You sit 3 feet in front of the person sitting, and you're basically closing your eyes, and that's it. And then there's also, I think, TR1, or maybe Marcus can let me know if it's TR0 or TR1, where then you open your eyes and you're supposed to confront. It's basically meditation, but it is their brand, which they don't call meditation. So you're only supposed to do their thing. You're not supposed to do other things, because if other things work, then it negates what Hubbard said.
Right.
That's
I
all.
mean,
It's just
I'm
they
not
can control.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I think I have a lag. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Speaking of meditation, Joe DiSeppo, Juliana has been meditating for 24 hours.
So those 2 comments were when she said Steve-O looked like he was meditating was when I think you weren't here, Marilyn. I think is when he stepped out. When Steve-O was just like,
put him up?
No, I didn't. No. But I'm just giving you context of what Joe's referring to, because Steve-O was just looking like, all pensive and and then because I'm tired and my brain's not wiring correctly, I was like, my words, thoughts, me, who, and then I've been meditating for 24 hours. So that's zombie mode, she said. Yeah.
Lady BB, question for Mark. They can't just walk away without doing the steps if that's what they want?
Because if you want to continue in Scientology, of course, you can always blow and never come back. That happens all the time, especially when people join with very little Scientology experience. So if, for example, if you've been recruited after seeing, going to a stress test table or going to a test center, and then they take you to the org and you start your course and you're there only once, most people, I'd say a majority of people, go once and that's it. They don't care about blowing. They don't care about all the ethics stuff because they're not as indoctrinated. But like me, if you had been in for 3 years and you were devoting your life to this, or more years, and you've decided in your head, no, this stuff works. These are facts, right? It's not a faith. I remember, Marilyn, you asked me on our first or second video about how did I change my beliefs, and I was thinking about that recently, which is, according to Scientology, the past lives things, it's not faith. Past lives exist, and L. Ron Hubbard created a science, which of course is BS, that actually proved that factually without, beyond the shadow of a doubt. And so it's not faith. So it's an actual fact. This is what happens. And so if you believe that, which of course, okay, it is a faith that you believe it, but if you really, really believe it very strongly and you want to keep doing Scientology in the future, you do not want that freeloader bill. The freeloader bill is it terrorizes people. I mean, you can't just leave because you'll get the bill. And the whole crux is once you pay off that bill, then you can come back to Scientology. So when people get bills for $5,000, $6,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever it is, that is on their head like, holy crap, I'm going to not have Scientology for a certain period of time, whatever it is, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. My life is going to be hell because I don't have the tech. And so that's what keeps people in. So everybody just does what they're supposed to do, which is why everything takes so long and why people have this illusion that they're voluntarily doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. But it's not their choice. They're being controlled, they're putting in a pressure cooker, and their decisions are already predetermined by the institution and by the people that are in it. So again, they know what you're going to do before you even do it, because that's the way everyone has been trained. So you don't just get up and leave unless, and it happened when I was on staff in Berlin. We had quite a few people who were unemployed and they came to the church to work, right? So they got jobs, they were routed onto post, and then I or someone in treasury would give them their staff pay. It was nothing, and then we just never saw them again, and the whole thing was so and so blew. Well,
Right.
that person wanted a job. They were promised the world. They gave them 5, 10 euros. And they just left. And it's the same with people who come in and start a course. They start what they call a Div 6 course, an introductory course. And they think this is insane. Like the people are nuts. Everyone's aggressive. I can't stand anybody. This is too much. It's too intense. And then we never see them. They don't answer the phone calls. They don't come back in. So those people can blow much easier than, again, people that have some kind of investment, whether it's a financial investment or a social capital investment or a communal investment or some kind of thing like that. That's very difficult to leave Scientology. And in my case, I just really wanted to do the tech and go OT. That was my thing.
Hey, Deversivo, I got my Osa Smells Like Poo shirt, wearing it with pride in the UK.
Oh, fantastic. That's wonderful,
awesome.
Tori. That's great. And for any of you out there that don't know what she's talking about, you can find on my merch store, which has the delightful address of Denver Stevo shop, shop.fourthwall.com. You can find all of my delightful merchandise, much like the Osa Smells Like Poo t-shirt, the Osa Smells Like Poo coffee mug, the Osa Smells Like Poo tumbler. Okay, there's a lot of Osa Smells Like Poo stuff.
Yeah, I don't have my. I ran out of time, so on my stuff. I have the coffee cup. Oh, there we go.
The Osa Smells Like Poo clothing,
and they're great. I love them. They're actually
thank you, Marilyn.
Really good quality.
The Osa Smells Like Poo stuff was based very closely on the designs of the FBI. So as you're walking down the street, people can see that big Osa on their chest. If they turn around and start running, they probably blew. But if they choose to get closer to you, they will see down at the bottom, smells like poo, in very simple letters. And then they will go, ha 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 ha! I get the joke. So we also have a wonderful Xenu Nation line, which we're expanding. We'll have the closeout here soon with the big Xenu Nation logo on there. Some things will have a little Xenu Nation up on the pocket and little poo guy down on the cuff of the sleeve. And then we also have our fabulous I Slept with Steve-O line for anybody who has ever spent time sleeping with Steve-O on Monday nights, or even if you haven't, but you want your friends to think you did. Swing on over and check out all that merchandise. Fantastic stuff. I'm ecstatic to hear that Tori got it. We are right now still running a promotion. So the first 50 transactions on the site will get 15%. That's 15% off of their purchase. We've used a bunch. Quite a few have taken advantage of the 15% off discount, but there are still more there. So yeah, and there's no code, no anything fancy like that you need. Just go pick your stuff. When you go to checkout, it'll automatically take 15% off your merchandise. So swing on over. That is Denver Stevo, all one word, -shop, SHOP, .fourthwall.com. There it is, scrolling at the bottom. Thank you, Julie. So Tori, wonderful. I'm so glad that you got it. That's huge. That's fantastic. Yay. And wearing with pride.
We need to update this banner. Say something like, instead of Denver Stevo's merch store, it should say something like, "Osa smells like poo. If you think so too." I don't know.
There you go. I like that.
Okay, I'll change it.
That's great. All right. This is supposed to be, is it men without hats or something? I don't know. I don't know what that is. So somebody can take this.
There was a previous one where he said
it was the same
reference.
one. He said this is the corrected version. So I unstarred the other one. Men without hats or something like that.
Oh no, that's why I left both. That's why I didn't unstart the other one.
That's the only thing it said. That's the only thing that
it's the safety dance.
Oh,
it's a safety dance. Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Ain't no
That's
friend
why
of mine.
Yeah, this was the corrected
You
version.
can dance if you want to.
Yeah, that's the song.
And they said we could.
Canadian band from Montreal.
They said that we should walk on water. They said that we should walk on wood. We did none of those things, and they said we could sing, so we sang about falling in love.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tone works. It works.
Yeah. Was this from the 90s? Because I don't know it.
80s.
Oh, I should know that one.
Yeah. It was actually referenced in the original movie Footloose back in 1984.
I should know that then.
Yeah.
I know that
and also
reference
on The
from.
Simpsons. Do you remember the Simpsons reference? Men without hats, as now they're called men without jobs.
So, Steve-O, check out this banner, see if you like it.
Osa smells like poo. If you think so too, grab some Denver Steve-O.
No, there's wrong. That's
Take out the apostrophe S. And
yeah, I know. I just saw that.
Yeah.
But it's not. But we need to work on that. Also smells like poo. If you think so too, grab some Denver Steve-O. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure somebody will.
There's some Denver Steve-O merch for you.
But you doesn't rhyme either.
Here you go. I like that.
There you go.
That'll work. Uh-oh.
Okay, those are lyrics from their song "Walk on Water." It isn't the Safe to Dance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that song.
Okay.
In my defense, that was not specified. It just said men without hats that I remember. I don't
remember. That's why I didn't start it.
Folks, we have trouble. We have a real big problem here.
What?
Pete just realized the chat isn't here.
He just came in late, he said.
We gotta
guys, you gotta realize something.
Mini Chad has been compromised. Mini Chad has been compromised.
Look at
I think he moved.
Oh, yeah, he moved the microwave.
I think he's moved.
That, guys, we have there. Let's put us back on screen. I'm sorry about that.
I love those typewriters, those electronic typewriters. I
Yeah,
love them.
That's not it. Where is it?
That was it.
No, but
there's a poem on the
this,
floor.
That's what I want. I don't want to take us out of the screen. See, you have Mini Chad with his crayons, with his globe, doing his painting, and typing all those reports. You see how many typewriters he has? He's watching all the channels and taking all the notes, guys. Yep. The chats are multiplying 10x it.
He's watching all the palm tree channels.
All the palm tree channels.
Okay.
All the palm tree channels.
That's wonderful.
You know Chad's right, you know Chad did it.
All right. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Anybody?
Want to so bad.
I saw Barbie.
As well.
The
but
crap's been too exciting on SPTV here lately. I don't think I've turned on the TV once in the last week, and certainly I'm not leaving the house further than my mailbox to just because some great grand Christopher Nolan movie has come out. No,
Christopher Nolan.
I really want to see it though. I mean, yeah, it's I hear that they like walk upside down and go, kind of go inside each other. Oh wait, that's Inception. Never mind. I hear it's a good film. I hear it's a pretty good film.
All right, guys. I'm gonna fly, but I'll
All
see
right.
you next time. I
See you,
gotta
Marilyn.
get
Oh.
going, but
Well,
Okay.
you just got yourself kicked out of Scientology by saying you want to fly.
sorry. Oh right.
right.
Bye, Marilyn. Have a beautiful rest of the
Bye, Marilyn.
weekend. Steve-O, you want to go back to the start questions to finish them up? I was gonna say
Sure.
something. I was gonna say something. I actually the
Still no.
movies are really expensive here in Brazil right now. I the last time I had been to the theaters was before the pandemic. I don't even know when. But then the marketing for Barbie was just so good that I had to go and watch it because I couldn't wait, just because I didn't want to get any spoilers. And I was seeing like people saying that it was so great and people saying that the whole thing is so bad. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to watch that before I end up getting any spoilers or any, analysis or any of those commentaries but yeah, Oppenheimer, I'm going to have to wait, even though it's probably a better movie. Barbie's not bad. It's not a bad movie, but
that's actually what I've heard.
Yeah, it's not a bad
Yeah.
movie, but it's not an amazing, perfect, excellent, fantastic movie. It's a pretty movie.
You take that back.
It's-
You don't say anything bad about Ryan Gosling.
It's a funny movie. I'm not saying anything bad about Ryan
He's
Gosling. I would never
Canada's
dare.
most attractive man.
He is. Ooh. And Canada's most attractive woman or most rock and roll power woman is
Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany. Changed my
Right,
mind.
right.
I love Tatiana Maslany.
Yes. When I was a background actor, I actually worked a little bit on Orphan Black, and she's very nice. Tatiana Maslany is amazing. She
Look
is
at that
very
face.
friendly. Yeah, she is really, really nice. She will go up to anybody, say hi, how are you, etc. Awesome person.
Tatiana
Right.
Maslany is the
Yep.
man. It's the woman.
Yeah,
It's
she's amazing. She deserves all the
okay.
success. Everyone else can, but her, she's awesome. So
Oh
yeah.
my god, I need to talk about this now. I have so much to say. Okay, fun fact, or fun story or whatever. Back when I was still teaching and whatnot, I was a private teacher for a while for like that. That was, I assume that would be the rest of my career. It was the rest of my career. It just was cut short because of the pandemic. And mental health, issues. But I used to do like I was teaching like one-on-one, and then I would do very personalized things and thematics and whatnot. And then once it was Canada Day or around, right? So I did something like, oh, let's get a list of Canadian actors or Canadian celebrities, and talk about them. And then I was like, oh, a bunch of people that I didn't even know were Canadian, And then I wrote, I have this list, and I have it somewhere. I took a picture of it because I was, when you're mindlessly doing something, and I was just like copying names and whatnot. And then I looked back, this list had like Ryan Gosling, I don't know who else that I love, and other guys that I have a crush on, and this and that. And then the only person that had a heart next to the name was Tatiana Maslany. Tatiana Maslany. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
But
she's awesome.
I love Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, she's really, really nice person and just really cool, and she's also a really great actor. Like that's the whole thing. It's just like she's very, very talented. That's the number one thing. That's why when she does anything that is successful, it's nice because she deserves it because she works
And
hard
Orphan
and
Black was
actually has talent. And yeah, no, Orphan Black, she played like 7 or 8 different characters at the same time. I mean, it was
more,
incredible.
and she
Or
played
more,
like
yeah, that's right.
one
A
character
lot.
impersonating somebody else, and you could tell
Yeah,
it wasn't that character.
that's right.
That was what impressed me. You know, it was like
Mm.
beginning, I think, of season 2, first episode, Cosima was at a party, and then you just see Cosima at the party, and then she just starts stalking or something very minor, and I'm like, that's not Cosima.
Mhm.
She's that good. It's
Yeah,
amazing. She's amazing.
yeah.
I sim for Tatiana Maslany.
So Marcus asks, "What's with the typewriters?" Marcus, it's a tribute to Ron. It's Chad's obsession with well, Chad liked typewriters before he was really following LRH. But the whole pulling them all out, laying them all out like that, having a little Chad standing on one, that's kind of a to Julie's earlier point, it's kind of a fun spoof on LRH, and Chad typing up all these reports all at the same time, and kind of doing all of that. So but Chad actually does like the old school electric typewriter. He's got one of those is his favorite. I don't know which one it is.
Oh.
I don't know if it's the teal one, but look at that. Tatiana's got hers right
Wow.
there. And yeah, so
Tatiana.
Chad's a fan. So that's really the thing on the typewriters.
He's a Ron fanboy. I get it.
I guess, yeah. Here's a great question.
I'm a Chad fangirl, so I have my typewriter right here.
There you
Ready
go.
to go.
There you go. So you need a mini Julie to go along with to be the fan.
No, I'm okay. I only have one typewriter. I can take care of it.
Okay. Stephen Britton asked the question, what percentage of Scientologists never learn to audit others and just pay for their own auditing sessions?
The question to that would be the extremely wealthy ones. Because in Scientology, of course, if you've ever seen, and again, I'm assuming some of you may have or may not have, but if you know the chart, what's called the grade chart or the bridge to total freedom, there's 2 sides: processing, of course, and training, where training is on the left and processing is on the right. Most people who don't have a lot of money will probably go through the training side, because there is a point where when you're training, you can actually do what's called co-auditing, although it is kind of discouraged, but it is kind of an alternative route. So when you learn, for example, how to do class 0, then you do grade 0. So you kind of like match your auditing, and then you go up the bridge like that. So a lot of people can do it that way. Of course, it's easier just to pay the cash, but I would say like if someone is purely just OT8, but they've only done like the Purif, they probably have had a hell of a lot of money. It's kind of rare. The expectation, at least nowadays, is that if you are at least clear, you should have some auditor training. And then if you go up to the OTs, you should at least get up to class 4, class 5 training. But again, in reality, it's if you've got the money, you just pay for your auditing. So what percentage? High percentage, 10%, 20% would be even higher. Most people kind of do the training because it's actually not as expensive. And then they try to creep up with the auditing a little bit and try to sort of do this where they weigh in and even until they get up to what's called class 5 graduate. And then after that, you can't go any higher as a class 5 graduate auditor. And then, of course, you can keep going to OT8 on the processing side. So that's the highest that you would be able to get for both sides. So
Okay,
yeah, I mean,
I have a
celebrities
question.
and rich people. Yeah, celebrities and rich people would. Now I know Jason Begay was a class. I believe he was a class 5 auditor or something, or class 4. That's rare.
Yeah, I
The
have a
rare
question
is the
about
fact
this.
that he actually became an auditor. Yeah.
Is that class 5 is the top of the
of the public, yeah, of being a public auditor, class 5 is the
Oh, I
highest
see.
you can go.
Gotcha.
Graduate, and
Okay.
it's called class 5 graduate.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you think
Because
of
I, general
the
career is
bridge,
class 12, right?
yeah, well, yeah. So here's the thing. The bridge is basically the bottom of the pyramid because it is a pyramid scheme, is all the introductory courses. Then there's like there's two parts. So
Let me
the
do
first
something here.
part of the left side, which is the training side, you go from the PURIF, and then you go all the way up to what's called, again, class 5 graduate. On the processing side, you start with it's not the PURIF, it's
Let me get this
not
here for
grade
you.
0. Yeah, get the chart.
I'm trying to. I'm
And
I'm
then
just
you
trying to
go up
find
to
a decent
clear, and
image.
then yeah, exactly. Now, so for class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 auditing, you basically have to be in the Sea Org. And
Okay.
class
That makes
6,
sense.
you go through what's called the St. Hill Special Briefing course, which does not exist. Then for class 7, you do what's called the pre-OT levels. Class 8, I believe, is OT 5, so you have to be a Sea Org member. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, something like that, or 10, 11, 12. I might be a little wrong. You guys can let me know. I think
Let
it's
me
10,
share.
11, 12. You do the L rundowns. So you
Yeah.
basically anything from 6 to 12, you have to be at least a Sea Org member or something like that. But yeah, if you wanted to be at an AO working and doing OT5, maybe you have to be class 8 or 9 auditor. Anyway, it's a scam, but basically I would say most Scientologists that go clear, I mean, you could still be a fully trained auditor, but it's, yeah, here we go. Okay. You could be a fully trained auditor, but it's just easier to pay for your processing. And then once you get, by the way, once you once you get to the highest level of your processing, you're encouraged to go back and do all the auditor training
Oh, I
anyway.
can do it like this. How can I?
Yeah,
What do you want me to?
nuts.
Just tell me what do you
Can you
want me to? Oh, here it is. Hang on. I'm
Yeah.
trying to add it, but why can't
So
I add it to the screen? Oh, there it is.
I see it.
I think. You do?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to
Okay.
look down here. So Dianetics and Scientology introductory services. That's the only part that I got to. So I did like a couple of the life improvement courses. I did the Dianetics book 1 route. So it's the Hubbard
Can you see the
Dianetics.
cursor here?
Yep, that's
Little bit,
that's
yeah.
what I did. So I did that part.
Okay.
So that's the Hubbard Dianetics auditor course and the book 1 kind of courses. So I took that route. And then I did a couple of the life improvement courses. I also did the success through communication.
Wait, where's
The
the
highest
from
level
here?
of yeah, exactly. The first 2 that are there, personal efficiency. I might have done one of those. Did I do one of those? Introductory auditing. I did introductory auditing. So anyway, the whole thing is these are all their courses. So if we look at the left side, so the left side is all the training side. So if you want to go, yeah, the training side. So scroll into the training side a little bit, make it a little bigger. That's right. And I'll let you know when to go up and stuff, because it's actually been a while since I've actually seen this. Can you make it a little bit bigger? Okay, that's perfect, right? So method 1. Okay, so I did method 1, but I wasn't on the course of method 1. So technically that's the highest amount of auditing or training that I received. You can see how early it is. Like it's method 1 is the next thing. Then the
Where's
next one
method
is
one? I'm sorry, I'm lost. I'm looking at it and I'm lost.
at the very, very bottom where it says no class. There's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5 of
okay.
them.
Hubbard
The
method 1
very
co-audit
last
course
one.
graduate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't do the actual co-audit course because that's the first course that you do. What I did is I received the actual auditing. Okay. So I did, so this is considered the highest auditing action that I got. So this whole thing is you learn how to word clear on the e-meter. So there is an auditing step called method 1. And basically, from what I recalled, I had like a book in front of me. I had the cans, and the auditor was asking me if I knew the definitions of certain words, which are the word clearing, and the needle would react and so forth. Okay, so that's like the first thing. So you learn how to do that on method 1. So that's the first thing that you do. Then you move up to the student hat that has to do with study tech. So if you know anything about study tech, you're basically learning that in your second step. The next one is the Pro TRs course. Okay. TRs again, because I didn't take these classes, it's a little hard for me to remember them, but the TRs are, you're sitting and you're telling an ashtray to talk and all this kind of stuff, and they're different kinds. Then you get to the upper indoc TRs. Funny how it's called indoc, because that stands for
Yeah.
indoctrination.
Indoctrination, yeah.
And then the next one up there is the professional metering course. So now you've got all these things. So you've learned how to do method 1 word clearing. You've learned how to be a good student. You've basically learned how to sit in a chair, listen to people, take direction, give direction, and then finally you do the metering course, where they essentially teach you how the e-meter works and they're from their perspective. Okay. Then you get up to these classes, and all these classes is class 0, you can audit grade 0. Okay, class 1, you audit grade 1, and it corresponds all the way. If you go all the way up, Juliana, you keep going to where it says class 5 graduate. Okay, so the class 5A graduate, I should say, that is the highest level that a class 5 org, that's why they're called class 5 orgs. That's the highest level that a class 5 org can deliver. So if we go to the Church of Scientology in Berlin and Toronto and Los Angeles and so forth, if it's a class 5 org, that is the highest amount of training that you will receive. You'll get into what's called a class 5A graduate intern. Okay. And so essentially these classes correspond, and when we get to the next step, that's processing, and we'll get there in a moment. But essentially all of these classes correspond in the next chart, the processing chart, with a grade. Now, if you scroll up a little bit, Juliana, you can scroll up. This is class 6. So this was called the St. Hill Special Briefing Course. Why? Because in the 60s, L. Ron Hubbard delivered this course, which used to take a year to complete. And if you've ever heard Aaron and other people talk about the American St. Hill organization called ASHO, which is an organization I'm familiar with, this is what they're supposed to deliver. They're supposed to deliver the St. Hill Special Briefing Course. That's why they call it a St. Hill organization. ASHO happens to be in Los Angeles. There is an ASHO at Clearwater. There is another ASHO in Copenhagen. That's called or EU, the St. Hill EU. There's also one in Sydney, Australia. There's a few of them, but they don't offer this course anymore. So back in the day, public Scientologists, non-Sea Org Scientologists would flock to St. Hill to take this course for a year, and it was a big seller. So this is from like 1962 to 1967, just before L. Ron Hubbard went to sea, and he developed this entire course. Now, if you keep going up, you get the class 7. Okay, so it says here class 7 internship, gold seal. Okay, class 8 auditor, and it says provisional Saint. Okay, so maybe that's, I actually don't know what class 7 would be. I forgive me, but class 8 you can see is the Hubbard graduate auditor. Okay, it's the class 8 course, power processing. It says you must be a Sea Org or a 5-year contract. Okay, so that's class 7. Now we go to class 8. You have to be an OT3 to be a class 8. And that's called the Hubbard Specialist of Standard Tech. We go to class 9, and this is the where you have to be OT5, OT6. Okay. And then I believe now once we get to 10, 11, and 12, these are the L rundowns. Yeah, okay. Those are the L rundowns. So I'm not really sure what a class 7 or really what a class 8 does. I believe that you can audit someone. And again, when we get to the processing side, this will be a little more clear because there are states between clear and OT. I think that that person can audit those intermediary steps. But by the time you're a class 8, you should be at least an OT3. And by the time, again, you're in class 9, you have to be OT5 because you're auditing the OT5.
Oh,
No, that's 9, class 9.
yeah, class.
But yeah,
This is
OT4,
class
exactly.
9.
So
OT4.
yeah, you have to be at least
Contracted
an
Sea Org.
OT4 and a contracted Sea Org member, exactly. But what you're doing is you're actually auditing the people on OT5, because if you remember, OT5 is a step where you're auditing, the auditor's getting rid of your BTs. Of course, they're not getting rid of them. You have to go on to more in OT7. But that's the process there. Okay. Now, if you want to go to the processing side,
That is
and
so
it'll
weird, though.
become
I'm
a little more
sorry.
clear.
That is just so
Go
weird,
ahead.
though. You have to be an OT4, but you're auditing OT5.
I
How does
think
that
it's
work?
the minimum, I think. Maybe, yeah, I think it's the minimum, if I'm not mistaken. New
Okay, it's
OT4 at
just
least. Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
yeah, but
From
still
what I
okay. You want me to
understand.
go here to
Again,
the
from what I
processing side?
understand, maybe I'm getting a couple things wrong. You know. But now
No,
we
but
go
that's what
to
it
the
says here
grades.
too. That's what it says here.
Yeah, have to be
Oh,
OT4.
maybe. Okay, maybe I think when you're doing the course to start the course, you have to be OT4. And
Yeah, I
then
think
maybe
so.
there's a prereq there that you need to finish OT5 maybe by the end or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing
I have
because you
no
have to
idea.
audit others in OT5. So for me personally, it just sounds counterintuitive that you would audit a level higher
Yeah.
than you are yourself. But
I've heard others
Yeah.
explain it that way too, though. So
Yeah.
it seems valid, even though it seems crazy.
I know.
Scientology
Now,
is kind of crazy.
yeah. Now go
Maybe.
all the way down to the bottom again of the processing side.
Okay.
All the way down. So the first thing that you're
So
going to
we have
do if
here.
you want to do the processing is the purification rundown. Pretty
Let's-
self-explanatory if you've been around our space for a while.
Ooh.
You know, you take a lot of vitamins, you sweat in a sauna, and it's the first step that you do before you have to get onto your auditing. And this was added on much later because L. Ron Hubbard was obsessed with drugs and all this kind of stuff. So it's an add-on that I think started in like the 70s or 60s or whatever. But that's it. So you take your niacin, you take your vitamin A, you drink your oil, you sweat, maybe you die of a heart attack, who knows? Hopefully you don't. And then you move on to the TRs and objectives and the drug rundown. I think the TRs and objectives is now called like the survival rundown or something. It has like a different name.
Mm.
But again,
Okay.
you're going through more training routines, more stuff.
Yeah,
Objectives
I
and
was gonna ask
has
what the
to
difference. I'm sure. I'm sorry. I
there's
don't
a
mean to keep interrupting.
difference. There's a
I'm
difference. What
sorry.
I would say is maybe someone like Marcus might know if he's still on.
I was
He
gonna
probably would
say.
know
I
the
was gonna
difference.
say he's probably commenting,
Yeah,
and I'm not there. I can't see you guys, and I can't see the
yeah, no
chat right
worries.
now. So,
Please
Steve,
again,
if you can just start questions and
yeah,
pay attention to the chat for me right now, because
yeah.
I'd
And
appreciate
then
that.
also the drug rundown. So then there's the drug rundown. So again, please understand, I only know the basics of this stuff because I didn't, I didn't do it firsthand. Happiness rundown, and then we go on to ARC straight wire. So all of these steps, you're not even yet on the grades, but they still cost a lot of money. They're still courses. So you have like, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps even before you get on your grades. Now, when you go onto the grades, you can see that they're about something in the second square. So the first one is communication. So there's an episode with Bruce Hines, who was in the Sea Org for about 30 years. He's like a professor of physics in Colorado, who was also a Scientologist, a physics professor and a Scientologist, which I know is kind of interesting, but he is. I think he actually lectures at U Colorado Boulder, if I'm not mistaken, but something like that. So regardless, they just ask you a bunch of questions, right? There's nothing that's really happening. It's just they ask you like, can you remember a time when you communicated well? Can you remember a time when you didn't communicate really well? Like that's all. They're just asking you questions. So there's specific list of questions they ask you, and they're looking at the meter. Okay, so that's communication. The next one, right, is problems. So it's a very similar thing. They've got lists, okay, that they're asking you. The second one, which is overts and withholds, has to do with ethics. I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but I think this is when you start to get into your ethics cycles and your sec checking and stuff like this. But this is a really ethics heavy one. The next one, of course, is a fixation on past upsets. And then you get to grade 4, which is abilities,
what?
service facsimiles. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's fixation of? I understand past upsets, but what does fixation mean here?
Fixated on something, like you
Like
can't
to
let go of
fix,
something.
like
You're, yeah.
to get rid of
Fix,
that. Oh, to work on your
yeah.
fixations. Okay,
A
of the
fixation
past,
is
like
almost like the word
ruminations.
in Scientology. A fixation is almost like the word obsession. Like you can't get
Okay.
over something,
All right.
you know, in the past. And so they're going to help you get over whatever that is.
Okay.
Abilities and service facsimiles. God, this one is such a service facsimile is oh, it's such a Scientology term. But again, it's just another step. And please forgive me, I didn't do these steps.
It's
So
okay.
anyway, it's grade 4. Then you get on to the next one, which is New Era Dianetics. And you can see here, you've got the drug rundown, the relief rundown, the R3 RA service facsimile handling, Dianetics student rescue intensive, disability rundown, identity rundown, and on and on and on. So there's just a bunch of more auditing actions that was created called New Era Dianetics. And then finally, you go on to expanded Dianetics, and then, of course, clear. And the clear cognition is that you've basically always been clear, and you have a clear certainty rundown. So this is why it's in large, text. So by going through all of these things, you basically have been paying a lot of money, thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. You can see here there's an alternative route. Those who don't go clear on New Era Dianetic, like it's insane. The sunshine rundown. But what I want to then focus on, if you go up a little more, you've got the solo course, okay? OT preparation, solo courses. Solo courses when you're going to start to learn how to solo audit, OT preparations and solo courses and OT eligibility. These are like the courses now where, you're making your stride to go OT. So a solo course is now you're auditing yourself. You don't learn about the BTs yet or anything like that, but you're learning how, instead of being audited with someone, you're learning again how to do it yourself. You have to prepare to become an OT, and then you have to become eligible to become an OT. Okay.
Mhm.
And then the next, if you scroll up a little bit, then you're at your OTs. And they've basically, been covered quite a bit. OT1 and
Mhm.
OT2 are kind of prep courses. 3 is Xenu, 4 is the space cocaine, 5 is you get an auditor, 6 is a training
Okay.
course, 7, again, they're all BTs. 3, 4, 5, and 7 are all BTs. And then OT8, your past lives and your active mind are part of your BTs. And then there's nothing beyond OT9 to
Confidential until
OT15.
released.
Yeah.
I love this.
Which is never gonna happen. So essentially,
Sounds weird.
ostensively, this is what you're supposed to do. This is your life in Scientology, this paper. So if you go all the way down again, if you go all the way
Oh,
down
sorry, I
to
stopped
the
sharing.
it's okay. It's okay. If you go all the way
Wait,
down to the
let me just share this again.
no
Hang
worries.
on. I think my computer's slow and laggy today. Super.
It's okay. You don't need to share it. It's fine. If you go all the way down to when we showed all those introductory courses, again, that's what I got to. And I only got to the basic auditing of method 1. So technically, you could say I did a little bit on the left side and the very, very first level, technically, but even that's kind of a stretch. I mostly focused on doing these Dianetics and Scientology, services. So, okay, if you're looking at the orgs, what did they deliver? So a mission is called a class 4 org, because the highest amount of training is class 4. Class 5 orgs, again, they're pretty self-explanatory. They do class 5. A St. Hill does class 6, and then an advanced org can do, I guess, beyond class 7, probably to like class 9 or whatever. All it really is, it's all a pyramid scheme scam. This entire bridge would cost probably anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000. And most people, I guarantee, who have been in the Scientology for years are what are called mid-levels. So they probably are not clear, and they're not class 5. They're right in the middle. Maybe they're, class 0, grade 0, maybe. Like maybe.
Okay.
So it really is just,
It
just really
amazes
up
me
here.
how much you know, how much you still know, like reading that, and you
Yeah,
just still remember, even not having done the
you,
actions, you still know it, because I think it's so uh, beaten into you. From what I see, Scientology seems to just pound everything
mhm.
into you, and then you just memorize
I
that, whether you want it or not.
I can tell you and again, this is not something I'm going to do, but I could give you the elevator pitch for courses I never took that were self-improvement courses.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
log
that's
line in
interesting.
a movie, like what's Barbie about? Well, it's one sentence, right? Like I could tell you that in a dozen different courses, and I've never taken it. I could tell you what you're supposed to feel when you're done, ARC straight line. And that's
That is
because every
very
staff member in
interesting.
Scientology is also a salesperson.
Yeah.
So you have to also remember that you're trying to sell people this bridge,
Uh-huh.
which goes back to the metaphor of selling people a piece of blue sky, which is John A. textbook.
John A. Tech.
But
Right.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
There it is.
Amazing. I'm
Yeah,
tired just looking at that. I might need a
I
10-second nap, like Chad.
A little power
know.
nap.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for
sorry.
that.
Marcus says, if you know you're right, you know Chad did it. That's right.
Yeah.
Saw you the other day giving Chad some props. Was that yesterday or the day before? But hilarious
Yeah.
Marcus. Thank you.
As soon as Marcus said, am I right? I thought it, and then he said it, and then I'm like, that's
Yep.
so funny.
Yep. Steve Britton, who has since taken off from the chat, that dance wasn't all that safe after all. Comes from Futurama. That was such a great show too.
Oh, I love that show.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I know that they did some more seasons on Comedy Central or whatever it was, but I couldn't tell you if it's still going or if it's all reruns now. But it's a great show. Pete Jensen says, I slept with Steve-O and all I received was a signed basketball and gift basket. Yeah, Pete, you got to understand, that was my championship basketball. So you scored big on that one, let me tell you. Joe Giuseppo, there's a bit of Barbie in all of us because microplastics. Oh, so true, so true. Oh, here's a question, and I know the answer to this one, but it came up as kind of you were starting to talk about the chart. Pete's confused. If someone is OT8, how would they have only done just the Purif? And my answer to that is they lied to you, but that's all I got.
They're on the same side, right?
At one point, when there was no Purif, I think there still was the OT levels. Then they invented the Purif, so then people had to go back into the Purif. Then they had the Golden Age of Tech 1 and 2, Golden Age, which was like around the year 2000 or 96 or something, and then again. So then people who were OT8 had to then go back and actually redo their auditor training and their grades and their classes. And then they had to go through again to do their OT levels because then they created new OT1, new OT2. So if you did the old one, then you had to go back and do the new one.
Sure.
So they're selling you again the same crap that you have to do over again. So it's not uncommon for OT8s and people that are OTs to do the purification rundown more than once, even though that's the first step that you do. If David Miscavige decides, oh no, there's something wrong or whatever happened, the people go back and do it again.
So if I had reached OT8 and then was told that you have to go back, and I go back and let's say I do the Purif and then I say enough, I just can't do this anymore. I'm too tired, and I walk away or go through the steps or whatever. Would I as a human being just say, yeah, I was OT8, but all I really got done was the Purif? I mean, is that the way I would view that, to say that? Or would I say, yeah, I got all the way up to OT8 and then they screwed me and I did my Purif and walked away? I mean, I guess it's perception, right? It's how somebody would think about that, but would somebody eliminate their past history just because Scientology eliminated their past history of stuff?
It's an interesting question, because if you did the old levels, the pre-1996 levels, you technically did not go relief OT. So if you were on the first class of OT8s in 1989, then by 96 you weren't really an OT8. You did the old OT levels. Now you got to go to the new OT levels. So then the Purif got revisited as well. So you could technically say that you were OT, but then you'd kind of have to specify what era. Was it before the golden age of tech? Was it after golden age of tech? And then there was a second golden age of tech, which I think was just recently. So then they went back and you had to redo more stuff anyway. So are you fully updated, or what era of OTs did
Never
you do?
ends.
Yeah. So you could say of course you could say you were OT8, right? In 1990, technically you were, but according to the Scientologists, you weren't a real OT. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of subjective in that way, right? So
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's confusing,
think-
put it that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the key word here is confused
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
for Scientology.
Right. I put this one up while you were talking, but I wanted to keep it here. Free Xenu Project says, didn't someone say Dave is releasing OT9 soon, or is that just a lie? I laugh
That's
because
just a joke. Because
isn't the joke that he
know.
said that multiple times and he keeps saying, "Oh, it's coming out soon," and
I mean, he said
Idle Morgs.
The ideal orgs, when I was working in Berlin, was an ideal org, and there was a packet of policies. And I remember clearly reading that whenever your org goes ideal, they'll release OT 9 and 10, but there's no OT 9 and 10. So it's just a way for them to delay the inevitable, which is that they don't exist. So here's the thing about Scientology: everything is soon, but nothing is there. Like superpower. They only built the superpower building because it's stood there being built for 20 years, and the town said, get on it, like finish the building. Oh my God, then they released superpower. But had the city not forced them to release superpower and do something with the lot, we'd still be waiting for superpower, which they broke ground in 1998, and I think they released 20 years later, 25 years later, and nobody's doing superpower. So you know what I mean? So it's just like, who cares? Everything is soon. Everything is around the corner. Nonsense. It's just, again, it's back to that multi-level marketing pyramid scheme kind of thing. Dangling carrot. Exactly, Juliana. Dangling carrot.
Right.
Really awful. Yeah.
Right. I know you saw this one. I'll just bring it up. Purif equals low-grade poisoning and torture.
Yep.
Sounds like it.
Now, Marcus says there are 2 class 12s that he knows is left. That's Pierre Etier and Karen de la Carriere. I'm not sure if Marty Rathbunier was a class 12, but
I don't know, but yeah, he's right. And
I hear
Karen was trained
Marty's a hell of an
personally
auditor.
So
and also Karen was personally trained as a class 12 by L. Ron Hubbard.
Was she? Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
Personally. So yeah, so she got to the highest of the high, which means she had to be over, I think she was OT7 or higher.
Okay.
But yeah, she's exceptional. Karen, and the fact that she's out. But yeah, there are not many. They're all at Flag, because that's the only place you can do the L rundowns is at Flag.
Oh, okay. I think that's it for questions. I know Free Xenu took off. I know Marcus is hiding back there.
Yeah, Aaron is on with what's his name? Forget. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Tommy from the Lifeboat.
Oh, is he doing that now? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
he was talking about it
for 45 minutes or 40 minutes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So if you're interested, or anybody who's still here, if you're interested in that, you may want to just jump in there in the middle of the stream, or just watch and replay Chipmunk speed, or replay clue, or anybody who left here and wants to come back and check out the rest of the video. Thank you anyway. Thank you for being here.
Aaron likes to say
Jeff
that.
is back.
Hey, Jeff. Oh, nothing. Just
You missed just the bridge, Total Freedom.
yeah, just
But you
cover
can
the
watch
bridge.
it on replay.
Very, very briefly.
That's right.
There's people who probably know more about me, but still, yeah. A couple of levels that twisted my head a little bit, but yeah. Someone tell me what grade 4 is.
No, but it was very interesting. It was I've seen like Doug cover it, and I've seen other people talk about it, but you know, it's different when you're watching it, when I'm just like actively like listening to you and looking at that, you know. I've seen also Alex, Apostate Alex and Ash with their weekly, or used to be weekly, I don't know. Ash and Alex do Scientology. They went through the bridge, and also, but it's always there's so much that for those of us who are never in, it's hard to learn all of that. That's why also, you know, intellectually, that's why the subject is interesting to me. You know, there is of course the humanitarian side of being appalled by the abuses and wanting to support survivors and people who want to leave OSA. That can be today's a good day to blow. But yeah, I find just fascinating the whole, like, it's just the challenge of, which is a good thing from the outside, because I can see how I could easily be indoctrinated in Scientology, because I would try to understand it because it doesn't make sense. So I want to make sense of it, you know? So then when you see it, you're trying to understand the nonsensical, you know, and then you get indoctrinated and then you get manipulated, and which is dangerous. So.
Yeah, and another important thing is to note how many of those actual grades and classes. So if one doesn't work, the next one will. Well, if that doesn't work, the next one will. And it's almost endless, because you just saw how many, I mean, there's probably 10 to 12 different actions that you do just in the mid-levels. It's not just the introductory courses, which they have dozens of those courses. The mid-levels is at least another dozen. So it's like you could do one course. Well, that doesn't work. We're going to get, you know, like I remember talking to people about method 1, which I didn't like. Well, student hat is next. So if you don't like word 1, you do the student hat. Student hat will be better. Okay, if you didn't like the student hat, well, the, you know, whatever, I think it was the TR's course. So that'll be great. Okay, that didn't work for you. But then there's another course, and then there's another course, and then there's another course. And that's not by accident at all.
I've heard
that's by
more
design.
than one place. I've heard the wait till you get on the next level.
Yep.
That's a sentence that's very common apparently in Scientology. So.
Yeah, and it's very sad, but that's that's what it is, unfortunately.
Waiting for Godot.
Godot.
Godot, because they're both pronunciations are exist, but I like to say Godot because
I like
it's
waiting
God.
for Guffman.
I don't know.
Yes,
Waiting for
much
Guffman.
better.
Waiting
Much
for
better.
Guffman, yeah. The
I don't
my
get that
my
reference.
dinner with Andre playset or whatever it was. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Andre is a movie that I have been meaning to see, or I haven't been meaning to see. I meant to see once in the past, but then I just lost track of it. I never watched it. Thank you, Mark, for being here again.
Thank you, guys.
And just a reminder for everybody, next week we won't have our weekly conversations with Mark, but we'll probably be back on the 19th. And next week we'll have the chat-a-thon.
We'll be here next week anyway, because it's the chat-a-thon.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna have things, just not
lots of things,
not just the nerdy bunch.
Not just. There'll be some extra nerds, but there'll also be some non-nerds. So yeah.
But be here next week. But be here at 2 instead of 1 Clearwater time for 10 hours. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.